I cannot think of an NRS original character that should be on a top 10 list.
Your opinions are only valid if they're good.
It's a good opinion.
Get Rain off this fucking list, dude. Like,
Serena,
seriously.
get her out of here. I'm sorry.
Jade stands are gonna come for us now.
I think Kuai Liang goes here.
No. That's Sonic, don't you make that puckered lip face like seeing your chance to move Reptile up a little bit?
Welcome to the 2025 edition of Top 10 Best Mortal Kombat Characters. First off, I gotta share this link with you guys. Boys, please click on the link that I just sent to you guys.
Oh.
Hello there, welcome. So, in today's video, we're going to be discussing about this, and the way how this is going to work is each of us are going to write down names on this whiteboard, like the characters that we want to be on this list, and then after we write down a bunch of random names, we're going to start to go in turn, or if we're going to, like, I don't know, be more specific and, like, attack somebody, just, like, start crossing out names or start defending names, essentially. By the end, we need 10 characters so that we can get to, like, the top 10. And I've decided to use this, like, digital whiteboard because this is based off of the Maximilian dudes, like, and his friends series, like the top 10 best GameCube games, PS1 games, yada yada. And they had a whiteboard to, like, literally write the names on. So I think it'd be more fun literally physically crossing out, well, digitally crossing out the names and stuff.
And also moving them around, because I'm moving them right now. Yeah, it's fun.
I know. Gone. Okay. Before we begin, I think we'd like to just talk about the contestants here, because each of us, I feel like, will have different criteria as to what kind of characters we like or what we're going to rank, essentially. So I'll give you examples, so I'll just start, basically. I value character design and lore, and maybe even personality for characters. I don't really value gameplay as much. Like, I feel like if this is going to be like a bunch of FGC players around us, they're going to be like, oh, my favorite character is like Cetrion because he's super OP in MK11 and stuff like that. That's not going to be me. So I'll put that out there in terms of if you want to, like, appeal to me with some of these characters. I am also somebody who I find that I actually don't particularly like, well, love. I still like these characters, but I don't actually top 10 love very iconic Mortal Kombat characters, as I find out here. It's like, oh, like, Liu Kang's of course got to be number one. Okay, but why? Like, I actually don't usually gravitate toward characters like that. So that's me. I like special weirdos and stuff like that. So that's my criterias. Take it away, one of you boys.
And we've already got on here who the number one character is.
He's already written it down. Damn it.
It's right there. It's on the board. It's indisputable. You can't argue against it.
Oops, it's gone.
No!
So, Snake, what do you value in terms of what your top 10 pick would be?
Importance to the story, of course. That's an important thing.
You are the lore guy.
They've got a noteworthy personality. Because a lot of MK characters are kind of on the bland side. They don't really have a ton. And so when you get characters like the obvious pick, it's like, yeah, that character's got a ton of personality. Just list stuff off. Yeah. Oh, WB's pick. Oh wait, what? Shit. No, that's just because it's shortened to because of your initials. But yeah, you're WB. You own NetherRealm. Oh no, you were the Warner Bro the whole time.
Is this your list or something? You already we're supposed to, like, slowly type it down. Like, come on, chill. chill.
Oops.
So we're just
gonna edit it anyway.
So we're just gonna, like, write down a bunch of characters that we think should go on the list, and then later on pick the top 10 and then sort an order out. Or
okay, so basically each of us just, like, slowly start, like, saying a character name, and we'll write it on the whiteboard. And then once we're all done saying those character names, then we start eliminating characters, essentially. But Trono Dog hasn't talked about his criteria. It's like, what do you like in characters, dog?
I think, like, if they're, like, iconic and associated with the game, so, like, they're what you think of, what comes to mind, and their influence on the franchise overall, you know?
Ooh.
So for example, some people might see Melina and think that she's not that impactful, but I would argue that she's been in a lot of magazines and crossover stuff and all that. And she's also, like, an M-rated character, so she's a big part of the franchise in that regard. Like, she represents, this is not for kids, like, the character, you know? She's like, I am the character that shows the adults this is for adults and don't let your kids play this. My boobies are hanging out, that kind of thing. So.
Okay, so you definitely are kind of like a bit of the opposite of me, because you do care about legacy. You do care about how much of an influence that you're going to be a bit more on the side of the people, actually, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
We will see. But yeah, so I see you both are like already wrote down names, so I guess I'll be the third person to start writing down a name.
I really wish I had my tablet plugged in, because I could just like literally write on a tablet right now and just like, put the names in.
I'm stunned you didn't just immediately just put Reptile on the side.
Not yet. I don't need to.
In bold green
he
text.
will be there. Go ahead, like Snake. Write your next character.
Are we not going to like try and justify the ones we picked, or do we just write them all down for now?
I think we write them on first, and then when we're gonna defend these characters, or when we're gonna like not yet. Yeah, we just start writing characters. Yeah, this will be the speed montage. It'll be like, ooh,
Do we write them
you wrote
next
that
to each
character.
other?
Ooh,
Or do we write
It doesn't
them
have to be
like
next to each other,
all
just-
on top to bottom? Okay.
whatever. It's a whiteboard. You can do whatever you want. To make it faster, we all of us can just start writing. Honestly, don't be that far away from us, Snake.
Well, I need to. It's not a
It's
lot of
room. Yeah, Sindel.
Gee, I wonder how high that character is gonna go.
Also,
Okay,
people
okay.
at home, don't make fun of our penmanship. We're literally using mice. Also, I'm bad at writing.
We're using a mice. Chill, guys. Yeah.
Also, got bad handwriting. Don't make fun of me.
I normally write in cursive, so this is different for me.
I think it's cute. Shit, we all have our little personalities, basically.
Roughly,
Onaga.
how many do we want to write down? Just as many as we feel
Honestly,
should be on here?
well, however many you want. Like, I have my top 10 list of my own, but like, even I have more characters here that I can put on this list. Essentially, that is genuinely very interesting. We'll get to that eventually. Excuse me, your mouse
you.
is
You're
your mouse is in my way.
Yes.
Sorry, Snake. Your cursor is in my way. I can't read what I'm writing. You're literally writing Kano. That's going to be erased like first one. Shut the fuck
Shut up!
Sonic.
Shut up! Jeez, you'll see why I put that character down.
I'm just like up here. I'm moving Melina back down here because she's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. This is my space.
Okay, you're gonna put it there? Okay, fine.
I'll put it here. You're fine. I'll put it here.
Yeah,
I'll put it here.
Okay.
Because Kitana sucks.
Oh my gosh.
I've said this
Oh,
before.
I'm so sad that in my video about like random facts about Mortal Kombat, I wanted to kind of include how Kitana, for whatever reason, in MK versus DC, has Melina's ball roll. Because I just find that funny.
Oh, that is an interesting fact. I didn't know about that.
So what you're telling me is that she's been stealing things from Melina and Jade since the Midway era.
That, or I was just gonna say that like the only reason Melina can even do the ball roll is because she's Kitana's clone, but we just never see Kitana do the ball roll because she's like, oh, that old thing, I unlearned that years ago. It's a useless technique. And Kano's like, oh no, I think it's pretty cool.
I was expecting a little bit more of like some interesting 3D era characters on here and stuff, because I was expecting like someone here might bring up like Taven or Shujinko or something.
No.
No, okay.
I'll put a 3D character here. I'll put in Havik or something. Anyone else put Havik down?
I was considering him.
Oops, wrong marker.
Yeah, that was a character.
I think
have on my
Havik is
backup
pretty
list.
cool.
Yeah.
I don't like
There's
how
no
they did
reason.
him in MK1 because they made him just angry boy.
Specifically 3D era Havik. That is true. If you put Havik down, I'll put this character down.
Yeah, well, just keep in mind, when we say Havik, we mean Havik, not Dairu.
True.
Here's the funny thing, though, because when you're trying to compliment, or heck, when you're trying to attack somebody, you can bring up all these like dark histories about a character and whatnot. Because technically speaking, that is like
Shang
some
Tsung,
criterias.
yeah, it's a great character. However, have you considered Mortal Kombat 9?
I was thinking about like Devora or KK. I think that'd be so funny. That'd be like, no way.
I like Devora, but yeah. Who the fuck erased the E's on my... Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Somebody erased the E's.
So just no, wait, your E never got dragged over. See, they're still there.
Oh,
See those little two? Yeah. Just for you guys to understand like what we're gonna go through in just a bit. Say for example, like Yanni from Realmcast was here. I'll be like, Yanni, love you, man. Get Rain off this fucking list, dude. Like,
Serena,
seriously,
get her out of here. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Get out.
Like maybe aesthetic and gameplay design, you got that, but like lore, hello, lore. Like, dude is a cocky brat that can never ever win. Okay, like how can you like that kind of a character? Okay, the coolest thing that happened to Rain was called Emperor Rain, and that's from Chaos Reigns. So yeah, get him off. Sorry.
Snake is just adding characters for us to scratch out. He's just thinking entertainment first. He's putting characters that he knows we're gonna dust. Like, come on.
Did you put Spawn? Am I getting what?
Ah, yes. Everyone's favorite MK character.
Janet
Jonesy.
You never know. He might show up in the next game.
Bo Raicho. People got offended at me when I put Bo Raicho as like a flop in my video. But I was thinking at the time, like when they came out, these characters were like not received well, and people were still like, "How dare you? Bo Raicho's the GOAT." And I'm like, everyone made fun of Bo Raicho. He was the farting puke guy. What do you mean?
I mean, you can't really argue against it because he did a belly flop in his first game, so you can't really argue against it.
Oh, he's a big flopper. Yeah, he's a belly flopper. That's funny. And when I learned that apparently the reason they made him like a big chungus is because they wanted to add sumo into his gameplay also. And I'm like, oh, that would have been fun. But I barely see any sumo.
Well, the funny thing is, they gave sumo to Su Hao. Bo Raicho didn't get it until Deception.
Yeah.
Which
admittedly has the gross like belly outfit and stuff where he's just hanging out.
Admittedly, that did lead to a cool little detail, which was that Li Mei got the style that he dropped for sumo. She got that because she was now learning under him. So that was the style she learned from him.
She has sumo, Li Mei?
No, it did. No, Bo Raicho had two styles: Drunken Fist and Miju, I think it was. Then he dropped the latter for sumo, and Li Mei gained that in Deception because she was being trained by him.
That's funny. I'm very shocked Jade's not on here. I thought one of us would put Jade on here. Damn.
Because she's a satellite character. She doesn't really exist on her own.
Jade stands are gonna come for us now.
I actually like her a lot in Deception, but she doesn't really. She's really just like an accessory to Kitana or Sindel or Coastal, depending on the game. She hasn't had a real chance to shine as her own character yet.
Yeah, I actually, because I did not like many characters in Mortal Kombat 11, to the point where Jade was like my favorite character in Mortal Kombat 11, specifically just based off design and even, I don't know, I liked her personality. And I also felt like in MK11, she was not just the Kitana friend character. She kind of had her own identity, kind of, a bit better.
I feel like she actually had more identity in MK9 than 11, because 11
I disagree hardly. She's literally just the Kitana fan.
Because to me, in 11, she's just like Kotal's like conscience, basically.
Yes.
And she doesn't even succeed at that because of the way the story pans out. Whereas in MK9, she has a whole chapter of trying to save Kitana. She's not just with Kitana, it's Kitana's in danger, I'm going to do my thing and save her. And so
but also,
I mean, obviously it would have been stronger.
Influenced by Kitana by Jade in MK9.
It would have been stronger if she was with the Shaolin monks when they go to save her. That would have been stronger. But yeah, for me personally, Jade was a stronger character in 9, not by much, but just enough.
For me, it's MK11. I really thought she had a bit of more personality, except for Kodapar. But I was like, I don't know, I liked her sassy personality or something. I don't know. But yeah, sorry, Jade stans. We tried. Not a top 10. But yeah, I guess we should start. Jade's there. No, don't just. Okay.
no, you're right. No, sorry.
Hey,
we're supposed to cross them out, aren't we?
Wait, why did you? Yeah, you did that, Snake. What's wrong with you?
Hey, you can command Z.
It was for a bit, but then I remembered. Oh yeah, we're supposed to cross.
You're
them out.
supposed to cross.
If you command Z, it'll come back.
Like
you just command Z. You don't gotta cross it out. The command Z will bring it back.
Yeah, true.
It's fine. It's fine. Let it be a monument to my sins. Come on, let's go.
Okay, there you go.
But I wanted to explain my reasoning. Okay.
So we have our characters here, as we can see here beautifully. Are we gonna cross out Jade twice now or something?
Yes.
Okay.
MK9 Jade, MK11 Jade. There we go.
Okay. Look, we at least she was on the list. Jade stands. At least she was on the list. Let's ask who wants to go on the offense first. Who wants to attack essentially.
Okay. Well, I've got a lot of characters. If anyone has an issue with one of mine, go ahead.
You do have a lot more characters here. So Jonesy is gone, obviously.
No, he's in Mortal one. He's the future of MK. You can't do this.
Sorry. Dog, do we want Spawn?
He's going to bring the Fortnite players over to the game so better, please.
I mean, Spawn's not going to make it. Sorry, Spawn's not going to make it. I'm going to cross out Fujin.
Wait! What the fuck?
Wait. You don't just cross them out.
We're supposed to. We can defend these characters. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
unbelievable.
mean, the Jade thing was mostly just a bit, but yeah, she's not going to make the top 10.
Okay.
Realistically.
So
I didn't get to defend Jade.
But we'll go on, defend her then.
You wanted to defend Jade?
Defend her.
Yeah. How are you going to scratch out the winner of Girls Gone Wired like that? Her dimensions are 36, 24, 36. All right? She got a commercial outside of the series. Very few characters can say this. That's all I got. She's hot. It's pretty much Jade's only defense.
So his point is 36.
Dog. If Jade's measurements are so important, then tell me this. What's her shoe size? Do we know that? No. Do you know who we do know? Lee May. We know all her other measurements too. Therefore, Lee May should be on the list, but not Jade.
Yeah, where is Lee May then?
Oh.
I'll bring this up. I think eventually, as this list goes on, Kitana, Melina, Sindel easily will be on the top 10 list. I can't see Jade being there.
Oh yeah,
but
Jade,
I can't
see.
I can't see Jade being better than those three I just said.
No, for sure.
But still,
Right.
Jade was slaying with some of her outfits. Jade has some good outfits, but that's all she is.
Sure.
If it was top,
so is Scarlet.
If it went top 20, I could see Jade making it on. She's not going to make top 10.
Absolutely. Dog, you attacked Fujin, right? So let me take on Fujin here. Fujin, to me, actually this kind of relates to the point I was going to say just then. We'll get to this later, but
the face of Aftermath, you say.
I was going to say, not just the face of Aftermath, but also, I was going to bring up, I cannot think of an NRS original character that should be on a top 10 list. Like, I genuinely don't think any of them can make it to the top 10. Maybe top 20, maybe top 15. But I find it very hard to justify some of these characters on the top 10. Fujin is the closest, in my opinion, to an NRS original character that can make it to the top 10. Because the Fujin we love is Aftermath. It's not like the classic MK4. Oh my gosh, I love Fujin. No, he was cool. He's a wind god. But the redesign, the new cool abilities with the crossbow, with the sword, and his personality comes from Aftermath. That's why I actually like this character, is because of Aftermath. So that's like the closest of an NRS original character that I would say I liked. And heck, I have fun watching his gameplay too. This guy has a lot of like juke moves and air like running and shenanigans. That's why I put Fujin on my top 10. But do you guys agree? What do you guys think?
I can see it.
Okay, if you can see it, then let's hold off.
Yeah.
Let's hold off on Fujin then, okay? We'll see how the list goes.
I still want to kill Fujin. I want to.
Well, it's 2 against
not
1,
top
so
10.
he gets defended for now.
I
We'll see. If we have crossed out almost everyone and he's still there, I'll let you take Fujin.
I put 2 more characters on the list that none of us put on, I just realised, but people are going to want us to discuss those. They kind of have to at least be discussed, Scorpion and Raiden.
Wait, we didn't put Scorpion. Holy shit!
No.
I thought. Oh no! Oh no! I thought Dog put Scorpion. Oh, that's sad.
I did. Somebody erased him. No, I'm kidding. I'm just gaslighting.
So, okay, I'll be honest. Raiden, I don't think so. Raiden's iconic, of course. Raiden's like quite a popular character, but do I like this character to the point where I put him top 10? Personally, no.
This
now,
is
Scorpion.
You cannot defend Raiden. I mean, defend Fujin and then say no Raiden.
Well, that's the thing is,
sense.
I can. I like Fujin's personality more than Raiden.
What made me realize that I realized Raiden wasn't there because I was thinking about Fujin. I was like, yeah, because Aftermath kind of made Fujin the better Raiden. Like Raiden still got the more iconic design. He's still one of the best designs in the series.
Yeah, sure.
Consistently. And you know, I like Raiden. I'm not one of those Raiden haters. I'm not one of those people like, oh, I'm K9 Raiden, smelly bad character. Like Sonic, okay. you also like defend him. I
literally made a 20-minute defending Raiden video. Yeah.
It's just
I would just argue. I'm not sure what Fujin's personality even is outside of nice guy.
Well, he's also like a demigod, so he has a higher up status, but yet he tries to understand the human emotion more than Raiden, as we see from like his chat with Jax in the scene. There is also a really cool thing about Fujin that's not talked about. It's really insinuated is he was in on the plan when Liu Kang decided to let Shang Tsung win. He knew, and he still acted that way.
Yeah.
There's some other things.
He was willing to basically, sacrifice everything because he understood Liu Kang's plan and trusted in him. And it's like, could Raiden do that? I don't know.
Raiden does love his elder gods in MK9.
I guess the question is, would people even like Fujin if he wasn't Raiden's brother?
I think
so.
Like going back far enough.
I like Fujin because he's the wind god, not because he's his brother.
Yeah, I feel like him being Raiden's brother. I mean, for start, that's only it was mentioned in like a strategy guide, but it was probably not even official in terms of like how the devs thought about it. So it really only became a thing in MK11 specifically. And I don't think
it's always been there, but not brought up completely.
I think the only opinion anyone has on that is kind of weird to bring that up now. And other than that, I don't think anyone really gives a shit, aside from speculation of could Fujin be Raiden's sister in the new timeline. Other than that,
oh, that's true.
I don't think anyone really cares. I think people's love for Fujin now has nothing to do with him being Raiden's brother. It's just because of his character and his role within the story, which are the things that Sonic cited as for why he deserves to be here. So,
and his moves are cool. I like his moves a lot.
Yeah, he has some solid animations and whatnot.
Yeah. So it's okay. Here's the thing, Shonadog, you disagree, but it is currently 2 against 1.
I'll let him live for now. We'll see.
Yeah, for now. We'll see. But we should probably kill Raiden though, because like, sorry, but I don't think he's top 10.
Damn.
I think
Raiden's like one of the main. I think he's top 5 even. But okay, goodbye.
I'd say hold off.
Oh, you liked him that much? Okay.
I'd say hold off.
But you didn't even put him on his list until now.
I would say don't axe Raiden just yet, because
okay.
I feel I look at some of these other characters. I'm like, I feel like quite a lot of these are going to get axed. Raiden, he's like low top 10 or high like second 10. So I feel like there's room to argue.
We'll see.
Whereas like I don't think Nitara or Onaga or like Shujinko are realistically going to make it, but we'll see how it goes for now. But Raiden,
do you want to attack those?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, that was a lot of characters, but I really can't defend too harshly. Nitara, I put it there just because she's my favorite 3D era character.
Okay, I'll just.
And that's it. I don't like anything else about her.
I will defend Nitara when it's time. I will defend Nitara.
Okay, we're talking about Nitara right now, so that's all I'm saying is I put her up there because she's my favorite 3D era character. I like the lore with her and Ashura. Can't really support. I guess her gameplay is cool in Mortal Kombat 1, but
yeah, she's
that's
a flying character.
Really
she's a vampire. I think that she's unexplored is the problem. I think if she had been given like her actual own realm and like a level, and maybe not her own chapter, but at least a chapter where people go there and learn more about the vampire realm. Maybe even a board on invasions where you're actually in the vampire realm. Oh shit! Imagine that in another realm. Anyway, yeah, imagine being in the vampire realm. That would have been super sick. I think she'd have a really big impact if they just did more with her, because she is the cool vampire chick. And especially if they had like jumped on making her more popular during like the underworld popularity and all that from movies.
The unfortunate thing is that she has been considerably nerfed because of this newest game. If this newest game never existed, Nitara might even make the top 10. Ooh, cool underrated vampire girl. But now we literally have seen what they do with her in this modern like day, and it's just like
I would say, other than her cameo in Cage Match, every single thing she's been in, which isn't much, is like literally 2 things. Yeah, other than the cameo in Scorpion Revenge. The only 2 things she's been in, M1K and 2021.
Yeah.
Done her nothing but disservice.
No.
If there's the thing, like, if you were introduced to this character through those, you wouldn't give a shit about her at all, because the designs are bad, one of them doesn't talk, the other one shouldn't talk. The gameplay is whatever. I find it funny when the AI is in control of her, because it never fucking stops jumping. It needs to stop. It don't even attack, it just jumps. So Nitara's definitely been dragged down a lot. If we were making this, like,
unfortunately,
back in like the MK11 days, I could definitely see a case being made for her, but she has been dragged down a lot. I still like all the stuff they did with her before. There's a lot of potential, but it really is...
favorite 3D era character for me, yes.
It's a lot of untapped potential. So it really does come down to how much do we value potential versus what's actually been done with them.
Yeah. So, good job, Nitara, making it up here, but bye-bye. Onaga, Onaga, actually, there's a lot of talking points I can also borrow over from Nitara. It's like, he's got a lot of untapped potential, but I think Onaga is great in one game. And he has a great lore. He's a great boss in one game, and it's great. But is it great for the entire series? There are some characters that I do think one game does carry them enough, like Fujin. We were talking about just then, like
Shujinko.
Shujinko is the main character of that game too, and that is only the time he ever gets to really shine. We can group them both up together. It's like, it really is just like, how much do you value deception to the point where you would put Shujinko or Onaga on the top 10?
I mean, I value deception a lot, personally.
Exactly. But you're the only guy I could see really defending like Shujinko or Onaga. Onaga's up here for me because he's a scaly, haha. But still.
See, for me, there's a difference between the two, which is that I feel like Shujinko, as the guy who is being manipulated and is now this old master guy, he has a lot of potential to be like the guy who kind of guides the younger characters, like especially newer characters like Taven or like Cassie Cage. You could have mentored her,
Yeah.
Whereas with Onaga, I really feel like you could have just removed him from the series entirely after Deception, and it really
You could.
And I feel like all of his story potential was just done within that one game, and that's fine. Not every character is designed to be around forever, but I can't imagine they have many new ideas that are going to be interesting at all for Onaga in the next game that will come close to the arc between him and Shujinko in Deception.
Absolutely. And I agree with you that they should have just like left him alone after Deception. He comes back immediately in Armageddon. It's like, okay. But like with the reset universe, then it's like, oh, there's potential there because the reset universe. So I wouldn't mind Onaga coming back. But like you said, I don't think it's going to be
It is cool that he has lore. Good. Yeah, it is cool that Onaga has lore established even in Deadly Alliance, and he looks completely different. That's interesting. There may even be lore before that. I don't know if the Dragon King gets mentioned before that.
In Deadly Alliance?
Before that, I mean. Before Deadly Alliance. Is he ever mentioned
no,
before that?
It was
I don't
first,
think so.
But first established in Deadly Alliance.
Yeah, so it's cool to have somebody that's like got some build up to them, and also it's cool to have somebody above Shao Kahn in theory, but also Shao Kahn is so absurdly OP that when you introduce someone stronger than him, it feels like the whole Dragon Ball situation. Like, oh, here's Frieza that can point at a planet and blow it up and was literally space dictator, ruler of like a whole galaxy, but also Jiro somehow made androids stronger than him. It just feels weird. Like, it feels like, I don't know. I think Shao Kahn being the pinnacle of like bad guy makes more sense because he has so much lore backing up why he's that strong. Whereas I feel like Dragon King is just like that strong because he is. Yeah.
I kind of see it, but then but that is kind of the thing is when you do have power scaling and stuff, which in a lot of series is unavoidable, it does become a question of, well, what is the threat? I mean, I guess, Liu Kang is killed, so he's the guy who beat Shao Kahn, so is there someone who can match these other guys who are also below Shao Kahn? Yeah, I could see that being a thing, but after that, like, how far can the series really go if you're not having escalating threats? That's actually one of the ways where the resets were actually a boon that they just completely fumbled, because you can scale it all back again and restart, but then now we're just on multiverse shit, and it's like, well, how do you go down from that?
I guess I would also point out, though, that at least with, say, Shinnok, who is definitely stronger than Shao Kahn, at least I would think so. Shinnok is a different being with different motivation, whereas Onaga is quite literally Shao Kahn. He like wants to rule Outworld, he wants to be the ruler of like the realms, but he doesn't have like, he wants to merge the realms too in Deception at one point, right? Because he's motivated by
the one being.
One being, just like Shao Kahn is apparently being manipulated. So like they're almost the same character. So I guess I'm justifying that, you can scratch off Onaga unless you make big changes to his motivation.
Well, I actually think his, motivation-wise, true. But the thing that makes Onaga also great is the fact that he literally deceives the character for 90%, 99% of the entire story. It's until the end, it's like, yeah, well, actually, you were doing my bidding the whole time. So that's also something
cool, but Shang Tsung could also do that. And in fact, he does in Shaolin Monks. Yeah, so I mean, if you want the manipulator
but
guy,
at least
that's kind of already
sucks
there.
ass with comparison, though. but I'm not saying keep him. I'm just saying Onaga's great, but...
You just like him because of his appearance. Don't lie to us.
Yeah. Whatever. And I guess
which is why I like him too. If he wasn't a big dragon boy, I wouldn't like him with Onaga. So.
I mean, iconic. I like his design too. Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess now it's time for you to bully me while I try and defend my boy Shujinko.
That I reminded you of.
Yeah. Why would argue? Shut up. Why would argue? Does put him above Onaga again is because that there is all that potential for what you can use with him for future games, but also I think his storyline in Deception, it's not exactly groundbreaking. Man is manipulated by someone else, or even the idea of using the power given to him by Onaga to defeat Onaga in the end. But it's just the fact that the character concept, you could argue, well, this is just saying he was perfect for Deception. Like Onaga was perfect for Deception because remember the character was created to be the main character of the expanded Conquest mode, which was a tutorial, and so they took that and made it into this little adventure mode where you can go around exploring the realms and whatnot. And Shujinko's ability to copy the moves of other people perfectly set up why you'd be doing these tutorials, learning the moves of other characters, and then putting them to use. And then it was just really cool unlocking his moves in Deception for his actual moveset. Because remember, in Deception, his moveset is incomplete even after you've unlocked him until you start getting all the moves from around the Conquest mode. You have to find Scorpion Spear.
In the arcade modes, in the game itself?
Yeah. He only has like the throw and like one other
Oh.
move. All the rest, like
you-
Scorpion Spear, Sub-Zero's moves, Liu Kang stuff, all that has to be found in
the
the
Conquest.
conquest mode. So it keeps you going looking for more stuff. And of course, an argument can be made here that this is actually just arguing for conquest mode as a whole, rather than for Shujinko. But I do think that he was perfect for that game. He had a really solid storyline, and again, he had a lot of potential for the future. So I think, at the very least, he's worth considering for now, rather than just axing him outright.
I'm not gonna lie, Snake.
All right.
I 100% agree with that. I think
I will play devil's advocate then.
Well, let me
I
first
will
say something,
advocate for
add on
killing him
some
after
things
you
too.
have your piece. Yes, sure.
Okay, because like Shujinko's like entire moveset and his character is built around this conquest mode story mode. It's like the fact that you play a character that also gets older throughout the time, reflecting weird scenarios in the realm, or even reflecting literally as the time progresses, the tournament progresses, MK4 happens, all these things happen and stuff like that. It's a very cool way to introduce the story mode and also like the lore of MK and also you're unlocking abilities. Like it's in the lore, it's his thing, but you're also unlocking things for him. It's like they're perfectly balancing lore and gameplay in a fighting game story mode, and that's kind of, I can see why a lot of people just want this kind of like idea back in the modern day. It's kind of genius. I will say personally, I didn't experience this, so I would say like the nostalgia for this feeling or Shujinko, like I don't have that bond, so I don't feel super strongly about it. But like the idea that you just brought up and how cool it is, like I can't deny that's very interesting. I have another point to bring up, but that's that dog talk first.
Muse. So I'll start off by saying I don't dislike Shujinko, but I think it's very arguable that it's the concept of how he played in, like Snake said, the conquest mode itself. And that if they brought back the conquest mode, I would argue that players would be more excited to have just a creative fighter that you make yourself and have him experience the conquest mode instead of Shujinko, because that's what he was. He was like a stand-in for you. He was not his own character.
Yeah.
I can't even think of any personality or motivation he has outside of that one or couple of lines where he hates Shang Tsung and wants to beat Shang Tsung. But outside of that, I can't think of anything about him except he is your avatar character. So
Unfortunately, I
I
think
was happy
Snake
to
can
see
think of
him.
a couple.
Okay, sure.
But it's a completely valid viewpoint, I'll say that.
Yeah, I think if they brought it back and instead of doing Shujinko, they did create a fighter, nobody would even blink. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's probably better. Because Shujinko was pretty much your stand-in character. Even when it comes to his outfits, like his costume too in the game is complete garbage and deception. His default outfit isn't terrible. It's a unique color at least, because I don't think anyone else was brown yet, unless you count Tremor, but he's a ninja. And but in story mode even, he has like 5 different forms because he's aging throughout the game, and every one of them is like a boring generic look. Like every single one looks like a default character class in Dark Souls. You know? So I don't know. I feel like personality-wise, design-wise, he just falls short. Conquest mode is why we know him, and the fact that he was put front and center, but I don't think he's a character himself.
I'd like to bring up a point. I was going to bring this up just then. You
But
that's an
no
interesting-
kidding.
What?
just
That's an
crossed him
interesting
out
take
real
about
fast.
that. Because I think your point is kind of valid in 2 other modes that Mortal Kombat has. We've got the Crypt, who literally has the Crypt guy. So nobody cares about him except he's the Crypt guy, but we only care about the Crypt. And there's another mode and another character that I want to bring up. Taven. So the interesting thing about this character is I've seen people throughout the years compliment Shujinko, and I've seen people semi-compliment Taven, but I have seen also opinions of people just saying Taven's very generic. Like that is just the guy who's just roaming through in a beat-em-up map. So play his conquest mode, I guess, but you're mostly playing for that for like a conquest mode. That like Taven does things, but it's like in terms of like a character, he's pretty generic, is what I've heard. But Shujinko is compliment throughout the years. Like that whole mechanic of getting new abilities, him aging through the years, meeting characters, that's a lot of character building. Whereas Taven is just a situation, a scenario, let's go. That I would argue, yes, you remember Armageddon because of that beat 'em up, not really for Taven.
Yeah, Shujinko has a lot of small things that do make him stand out, things that are unique to him. Like okay, copying abilities isn't completely unique, but then again, it was kind of limited to ninjas or morphs or very specific scenarios. And then just being able to just use them all whenever you want. That was new at the time, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm pretty sure chameleons were like, at least the male one was time based. based on what colour palette he was at the moment. So there's a lot that makes him stand out. Whereas with Taven, not really. His story's good. I do like the story, but him as his personality is fine. It's just there's nothing really about him that makes him stand out from really anyone else.
Shujinko is cooler, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Taven also was like the 19th guy to use fire, which was such a lame choice.
I mean, to be fair, it ties into his mother and Blaze and that, so I see why they did it. But it would have been neat if there was something else there. I mean, he doesn't seem to inherit any abilities from his father. Because even his abilities to stop time temporarily is from his mother, who saw the future. So everything comes from her. Argus is just, I don't even know what Argus is a god of. He's just there.
Counter argument though, Shujinko's power is not even his. Onaga gave him that. So technically,
So I don't think he's gonna last, but I don't mind circling from now. Like I wasn't planning on circling Shujinko, but I think you've made some pretty good points, Snake. I do like a lot of these points. But
is this how they were doing it in the Maximilian video? Just to be sure, they were like choosing to circle or cross out, or did they like just?
Well, they never circled it, but they do defend something, and then eventually, when things get to like we have to have 10, then they start doing some like heart ripping like X's at the end.
Gotcha. Okay.
I brought up this point just then, and I'm still saying it again. I don't think any NRS characters should be on the top 10. I don't think they're iconic enough or good enough characters. So explain Kanjin and Cassie, please.
Okay. Well, Jin, obviously one of the benefits he has is being like MK's first gay character. That's not super that's not like reason enough for him to be on here. Some people do feel that he shouldn't be in the roster because he is the gay one, but I don't like to define him that way. But it is something that makes him stand out, and I feel like the successor characters, because Cassie and Jackie can feel a bit generic, especially Jackie. Jackie is the worst for sure. We can all agree. And Cassie is a very good blend of her two parents, but still, there's not really much that makes her unique through that.
I think she's got some funny moments and funny intro dialogues. That's about it. I'm shocked Takeda didn't make it up here. I mean...
I was going to write him.
You can still read it. I mean, we're talking about all of them right now anyways.
Yeah. And like Takeda got like a bit of a blend of Scorpion and Kenshi. Gameplay wise, you can see it's like more of like a Scorpion influence. But like with Jin, I like the way they approached him. Where it's more like okay, so he's he's not just the child of one of the characters. He's a cousin. It's a different kind of relationship.
Yes.
Additionally, he is also he's the one who they looked at Kung Lao and said, okay, what is his thing? Okay, it's a weapon. It's like a ranged weapon basically because he throws his hat. That's his iconic thing. So they took that idea and gave that to Jin. But he's not just like going to go and throw a hat like the way Kung Lao did. Lao has a new hat, so they could have just done that, but they didn't. They said, how about a bow that is also a melee weapon? Just like a bow and a bow staff at the same time, which is a really neat idea. And so they clearly put in effort to make this character not just Kung Lao 2. They want him to be his own distinct character who has ties to Kung Lao and who stands out from the rest through his sexuality, his personality, which makes him like the Raphael of the team. And a lot of 4-man teams can easily be compared to the TMNT, and and he has a lot, even just small things like when he's the one who can easily outshine Cassie by being the one to talk to Coastal and go, well, I know some of these laws, we're going to fight you and to save a thief, just some thief because I relate to him, Someone who can just relate to like random people in the MK universe is kind of rare. Most characters are just, I have my story, and it's all very self-contained. Whereas Jin's like, I can empathize with a man who is stealing just to survive. This coastal stuff is barbaric, and he's he's also like the kind of guy who's going to say, I don't care about being friendly with these people. If Coastal's a dick, I'm going to tell him to his face. And so I think. So through stuff like that, I think Jin is actually quite a compelling character. I think the chapter system did let him down, not as much as other characters have been, but I feel like if he had more bits spread out throughout the game, maybe if the breadth scene had come later after we learn more about him, maybe people were like, the mystery leading up to that, what's his deal? Oh, now we see his deal. That might have also helped. I don't expect him to make it into the top 10. I just want to make the case that Jin is actually a pretty solid character. And depend on what the next game's going to be about. There is potential for some really good story stuff with him in the next game, as long as they don't fuck it up like Takeda is Kenshi's cousin now. Ooh, no, what? No. So I like Jin, but I don't expect him to make it into the top 10. I don't even expect him to be held off. I just want to make the case. That's all.
I wanted to add to this by saying that Kung Jin is one of those weird examples where it seems like all the ingredients are there, and it's almost confusing why he's not a fan favorite, because Cassie Cage is lazy. She's just Sonya and Johnny, but they did a fusion dance. That's what that is pretty much. And I don't dislike Cassie Cage, but I'm just saying that's what she is. And then Jackie is just little Jax, which is why no one likes her, because there's almost nothing to separate her. But then here comes Kung Jin, who, yes, is related to Kung Lao, but completely different playstyle, completely different weapons, personality adjacent, like it's similar, but still unique in its own way. And is it just his look? But I feel like his appearance isn't terrible. He has that same muddy color that everyone does in MKX for some reason. But is it the muddy brown and green? Is that why people passed over him? Is it just not colorful enough? It makes you scratch your head because he has so much cool stuff going for him. He even gets a cool segment where he's doing the QTE and he shoots the arrows and like saves everybody on his team. And he still is like, if you ask people, he's like in the bottom along with Jackie. And you're like, it's so interesting because all the gear pieces are there for a really cool character. Yeah.
I actually think part of it might be because in the story mode early on, he's quite the asshole. And I don't think people like that kind of character type because he is,
I do think that is one of the big things that has held him back is that even though
his
that is
personality there, at least.
Yeah,
he gets better.
Yeah, personality is there, but also it's a unique dynamic it offers to the characters because you think about the other heroes of Earthrealm, you don't really have one who's kind of like Johnny Cage is like self-centered, but he's never like going out of his way to be a dick. He kind of just doesn't think before he talks. That's what gets him into trouble with Jax, for example, is that Johnny just learned when to shut the fuck up. Whereas here it's like, no, Jin doesn't care. He's fed up with everyone's shit. He's like, I'm just going to be an absolute dickhead to Jackie for no reason. Which, whether
now listen to Cassie.
A lot of people are going to say, I don't like that, and that's fine. But I think it's something that makes him stand out from a lot of the other characters, that he has this personality quirk that makes him a complete dick, that offers a whole new dynamic to the Kombat Kids that helps to make them not just the old guard again. Like, because those characters don't really have, maybe it's just because the way MK9 did it, those characters didn't really have a ton of like inter-group dynamics. Like you had Sonya and Jax had their thing, but like what was Sonya and Jax to Liu Kang, for example? Liu Kang. I
brought this up.
What are they to Johnny?
I brought this in the MK9 video. It's just like, here we have like 10 characters all hanging out together. Do you guys want to talk? Do you guys have any interesting dialogues in between with each other? Cyber Sub-Zero with Smoke, Sonya with Cabal, right? Cabal, aren't you like now? Weren't you in the Black Dragon and stuff like all these characters? And they just stand there.
Yeah, 11 did that as well, where it's like, well, Liu Kang and Kung Lao are going to go on their little adventure. We're going to have Jax and Jackie on their adventure. Johnny and Sonya have theirs. We didn't really get much crossover, whereas these characters kind of were like the interconnection of all the good guy factions. You have a guy from Scorpion's clan, you have two special forces, and then you have like a Shaolin monk. And that's something that could have been cool to expand. Here's a new Lin Kuei character to join them. But because the group was so small, they were able to have these more interesting dynamics with one another. Like it's easier to define the connection relationship between, say, even something as unusual as like Kung Jin and Jackie compared to like Sonya and Liu Kang, who've been in like almost every game together.
Yeah.
So there's MKX actually, with the way it told its story, had a lot going for it. And Jin definitely benefited from that, arguably more so than the others, because like people like Takeda, because he's got some cool moves and he's got his quips. But
Takeda specifically cool moves, but also like son of Kenshi, trained by Scorpion, special forces gear. Yeah. Oh, that shit's cool.
It is.
And then like laser swords and all sorts of shenanigans.
I feel it's kind of surface level, whereas I think Jin has a lot more depth. Probably most
personality, yes. Yeah. But those things I just said were just like cool shit for gameplay and aesthetics. Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to discount Takeda. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Jin has a bit more going for him. But I think some of the surface level stuff, like the design, particularly with the color scheme, or the fact that. And some people it's going to be the fact that he's gay, or then got the people's reaction to how his personality is. I do think that again, it's surface level stuff that has held him back from being much more beloved. Because I honestly think that I think honestly that the ranking, he should be up there with Takeda, maybe even above him, then Cassie and Jackie, but somehow he's like below Cassie. Even and I put Cassie on here
games,
too. Yeah,
and people do like Cassie.
I put Cassie on here too. I didn't like Cassie that much in MKX, but given time, I started to think about it more, and she also has a lot of potential with her character because she's in charge of this team, and she's also Johnny and Sonya. She's not just connected to. She's not just like the child of one character. She's the child of two. Only one other character in the Kombat Kids has a connection to two previous characters, and one of those was also a villain previously. So this is the daughter of two heroes of Earthrealm, one of whom is mentoring the team, the other one being in charge of Earth defenses overall. And so it's easy to look at Cassie and go, okay, nepotism, and like that's kind of how Jin seems to see her as well at first. But then, so the story of MKX really is Cassie proving that that's not the case. Again, it's more the potential thing, the potential of what can you do with this character, and she's also just fun. Like her quips are a bit cringe in MKX, but I think in 11. That they were generally better.
Oh, okay.
I really like.
I feel the
quips
opposite.
in MKX.
Interesting. Yeah,
right.
Personally, yeah.
I really like some of the quips in MKX. I want to first off, I gotta say this is the most love I've heard for the Kombat Kids in a while. I'm impressed. I'm like, wow. I did not expect all that.
So I think that like Cassie Cage has become a pretty big favorite. Like she was controversial for a bit because of the whole Mary Sue situation where she just shows up and defeats Shinnok, and it's like, geez, that's not just Shinnok, but that's Shinnok on steroids. But hey, green glowy juice powers is like big boy kryptonite, so go down, that kind of thing. And it happened again in the Johnny Cage match movie. So we see him like dunk on Shinnok when he first shows up. So. It's just like green glow is the answer.
I'm actually kind of more okay with that just because it's like an 80s action movie shenanigan. He's the main protagonist.
Anyway, but I wanted to bring up that like Cassie Cage was designed with the sole intent of being mass appeal. Like for Pete's sake, in MKX when she walks into the scene, she's listening to the Mortal Kombat X theme song. Like, come on, she has it in her ear pods, like takes them out. That's adorable. It's hilarious. That's very cool. And she pops the bubble gum, because she's like not taking things too serious. Like she's very fun. And I think it barely doesn't go overboard. It almost does, but it's not too cringe and self-aware. I just don't like her voice in MK11, I think is the problem. I'm biased. I think that her voice in X is awesome. And that chick did Aloy also, same voice actress. But her talents are wasted on Aloy because that is like a plank of wood. Character has no personality.
Don't forget also the Life is Strange girl. Amazing job with that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know about
Hella
that. I
fantastic.
forgot. Yeah. So Cassie Cage is just made for mass fan appeal. So you could argue that she is a top 10 and she could stay for at least another round and get circled. Kung Jin, I think, sadly, for all the good things they have to say about him,
I'm just gonna say
I don't think you could ever convince a crowd to keep Kung Jin alive. Like they would just be like, nah, kill him. Like he's never going to be top 10 to us,
Yeah.
Even though I like Kung Jin. I like Kung Jin a lot, but
the crowd is the kind of people who go, yo, every character from MK1 and 2 has to be in every game. How dare you not put Sonya on the roster of this game? How dare you not put her on? Yeah, so the crowd needs to shut the fuck up. Their opinion doesn't matter. They're all a bunch of
That's what I mean. This is what I mean. True underdog is listening. He's got the crowd influence. So I like that. I like that.
The three of us matter, by which I mean Sonic and I matter a bit more. But the point is...
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree.
It's our list. Just
saying,
it's our list. I personally... I'll say two things. First off, I love the discussion, but I do think we need to shorten some of these things because we might go very long if we not careful. But also another thing is I appreciate this love given in the Kombat Kids. I can't support any of them beyond top 10. Top 10, and trust me, you're gonna see. There's so many characters in this list. You just cannot fit them. Be good in the top 10.
I'll just cross these two off because they are jokes, but we do need to move along. Janet, my head.
How did you love Janet with evil
Sonya?
Yeah,
I'll get.
So wait, Sonic, you actually think that Kung Jin should make the cut, or can I cross him out?
No, I said I don't think any NRS character should make it in. That's why I think Kung Jin
I'm gonna cross out Kung Jin because I love him, but like he's just you can't convince me he's top 10 above everyone else. Yeah. Cassie Cage, you could because you got that Rule 34 pull. Like,
okay, now you're gonna definitely cross her out for me now.
But the fans have spoken.
Okay.
Well, every fucking character here has that. Okay,
Cassie's
like the top 3.
Let's just make this interesting. So, Sonic, you're orange,
Okay.
yeah?
Yes.
Defend Kano.
Kano.
No, I can't. I hate Kano. I would cross him out
Before
right
we
now
get
if
to
I could.
Kano, I just want to bring up one thing, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about this, but no one put Kung Lao on this list, which I'm very impressed. You put Kun Jin and not Kung Lao, which I think is very interesting. I thought you loved
is
Kung Lao,
crazy.
dog. You always bring up, it should be Kung Lao's time to shine. Oh, let him be the hero. And he's not even
It
on the
should be,
list.
but I'm also adult enough to admit he's not a top 10 character. But he is way better than everything you said is true. But he would still not be top 10. Just like a lot of these
Okay,
people.
okay.
Some of y'all just wrote people you wanted us to scratch off. Like I will defend the characters I put down here.
Okay, Takeda's also gone because Cassie is going to be gone, but I'll put Takeda down for now. So Kano, the thing about Kano is, yes, he's been throughout the series for a very long time. He's a very great generic villain type character. He's kind of iconic throughout the series. I've only put him on this list only for two reasons.
2021.
Mortal Kombat 2021 and
Snowblind.
Snowblind. That's it. That's the only reason I put him on here.
But
I think those two
it says a
depictions
lot.
of him.
I say it's them and MK95 because he was really fun in that.
Of course,
but,
he's great in 95. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, outside of the games, he's great. In the games, he's nothing. He's just the one for
Generic villain.
Sony to beat up, unfortunately. Like I'm sure the new
Exactly.
version of Kano will just take a lot of influence from the 2021 one and come with all these quips, maybe with an actual Australian voice in him. I'm sure the new Kano will be great, but as Kano currently stands in the games, he is a nothing character.
He truly is.
Like I've said it before, like he keeps getting brought back just because people want all the MK1 and 2 characters. He's the Honda of MK. No one he has his fans, sure, but broadly people don't really care about him. He just gets a free pass because all these guys show up. Might be a bit more accurate to say he's like the T-Hawk compared to the E-Honda, but he's on that level, really.
I can't deny. I mean, look at MK1. People are like, how dare Jax not make it to the... How dare Sonya? Kano, huh?
Huh?
Yeah. Kano is literally a good side character. That cannot be disagreed with. He supports stories well. He can even be a funny one-off villain only because you would never expect him to be the big guy in charge. So what you do with him can be very interesting there. And I still think he's one of the better villains we've got for Mortal Kombat. I agree. But that does not make you a top 10 character. He's a good
again,
side
I'm
character.
only putting him on the list because he was the best part of Mortal Kombat 2021, and he is one of the best Mortal Kombat villains in Snowblind. I genuinely find him fascinating in that movie and like how cool that character was done. But that's it. So I just want to. He is actually in my top 10 because of that reason only. But we can cross him out.
He's like the second or third least interesting final boss the MK series ever had. Because remember, yes, in Special Forces he was the final boss. So he is technically on the level of like a Shao Kahn or a Shang Tsung.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Okay. Let's see. I see a lot of
Let's
Trono
bully
dogs.
Dog a bit. Let's bully Dog.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of Trono dogs alive here.
No.
Look,
Let's
I
go
like
with
him,
let's
but
start on Havik.
Havik.
Yeah,
right.
let's start with the ones
sorry.
that are probably going to get cut.
Look,
Defend Havik.
the same
I
reason
agree.
for
You
Nitara.
can cut out Havik. I think
reason.
Havik is cool because he's gore personified. And I think if he had been introduced in the series early on, like if he was an MK3 or something, people would love him just as much as they love Ermac. But he came to the series a bit late during the awkward 3D era, which I don't dislike. I like the 3D era, but it is seen as like the awkward. There's good and there's terrible characters here. And I'm sure some people to this day think that Havik's one of those like boinky weird characters. It's not really like a staple. So yeah, you can cross him out.
And unfortunately, he gets really nerfed in Mortal Kombat 1. It's the same
He was
situation
a final
as
villain,
Nitara.
which was cool, but that's about it.
I think
Even
he
as a final
sucks.
villain, even as the final villain, they fumbled him by making him like
Yeah.
all like a big complainy baby. Like, yeah, you're ruining my plans. When he should have been like, yes, chaos. But he didn't do that.
I just
so.
wanted chaotic. Yeah, he literally is just Shao Kahn, but Havik as a skin, basically. Gameplay's cool. I'll give you that.
If we were ever
Gameplay's
to
cool.
go back and like make a version of this, like that's like 3 times longer and has like each individual version of the character as a separate thing, the original version of Havik has a pretty decent shot of at least making like a top 20, if not top 10.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's just that all the NetherRealm stuff, even the comics, all of it.
We are
just-
including that.
it's
We are
just
talking about this.
dire the way
yeah.
they've handled him. So like, what? And unfortunately, that's the Havik people know. The one who headlined a story expansion, the one who was on the base roster of the latest big relaunch. That's what people know, and it's all terrible. not just like bad or I wish they had done this a little better. It's terrible. So like. If we're specific versions of characters, Kano and Nitara could probably make it up there with specific versions. I'd be fine putting like Snowblind or 2021 Kano in the top 10. Nitara at least near the bottom.
I have one more character on my own list that is specifically only there because of one
Baraka
game.
and 1K.
Absolutely, yes, because I dedicated like 10 minutes just gushing about how good this character was done in that game. That's the only reason. I do not give a shit about any of his previous depictions.
You know what? He's still just a Kano. But for the good guys, he's a good supporting. He's a supporting good guy. He's not a main good guy. He never will be.
But by all means, Sonic, make your case though. Just he's probably
no. That is my case. I only like him because of Mortal Kombat 1. His attacks are cool in Mortal Kombat 1 too. I like that. But he had a little bit in Mortal Kombat 11 when Kitana gave him their whole entire like Tarkhan like race a chance to be with them, to work together, and not just be treated as a little like generic villain. There's a little bit there, and I felt like what they do in Mortal Kombat 1 I appreciate a lot more. Part of me really doesn't want them to focus on Baraka because I just feel like they're gonna fuck him up more because I'm already happy with what we got currently.
I will say Baraka to me is like a mascot for the series. Like he's the little crazy wild man, not like a mascot in the same way that he's the main guy. I'm just saying that, like when you put Baraka on a Mortal Kombat box art, it's like, oh, this makes sense. Like he's popular enough, and he's like the slicey gore guy. He's a monster for Pete's sake. He's a demon man, so he fits the metal vibe of Mortal Kombat really well. But he's still just always going to be a supporting
I should be defending Baraka,
character.
but there's a character that's like Baraka, but just like way more better and iconic, Melina. So well, of course, yes. But I meant like one for one. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a question. But let's first answer this question, because when we're ranking Scorpion and Sub-Zero, we're not ranking the title. We're ranking specifically like Bi-Han, Kuai Liang, and Hanzo, right? We're gonna separate these three characters.
Well, that's the tricky thing, because I feel like Scorpion and Sub-Zero are almost guaranteed to be shoo-ins, but if you can break it down into Hanzo, Kuai Liang, and Bi-Han, that's a very different discussion.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking here. Do we want to separate the three, or it's like every Sub-Zero is a Sub-Zero, every Scorpion is a Scorpion?
I would say because it's not just about like gameplay or aesthetic, and it is in fact about the characters. Yeah, we should split them.
We should separate it.
Aww.
And I'm specifically saying that because of Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah,
what are you trying to do?
Because Scorpion would be dragged down, I think, quite a lot by M1K.
Unfortunately, yeah. So I don't know why you wrote Bi-Han. Get him out of here. And then
I don't know. He's kind of funny in M1K. So I'm going to jump through a portal to go after this guy for no reason at all. I'm going to be a terrible brother.
Guys, get ready to watch my Chapter 8 and 9 video to see how much of a fucking not just like a bad villain, but just how incompetent this guy is in Chapter 8.
It's actually hilarious. It's impressive how much Sub-Zero or Bi-Han sucks in Mortal Kombat 1. He even loses in like cutscene fights, like in the background. Like he gets his ass kicked by like other timeline Geras, and stuff. Yeah, he gets just knocked down by people. And you might say, oh well, it's Geras, and yeah, it is Geras, but Nitara took down Geras. So it's like it's kind of funny when you think about it. Yeah, so.
Geras is either the strongest being or the weakest guy ever. It's so imbalanced. MK11 too.
I mean, were you ever like, whoa, this guy's so cool when he said, I have died billions of times? Or did you think, wow, you are the worst fighter in the history of ever, and this game has
a terrible KD ratio, bruh.
Motherfucker can stop time. Do that. Why does
he
always
still dies all the time?
I know.
He's so terrible.
He got defeated by Sonya, but then he defeats Liu Kang and Kung Lao in the same game with a time stop.
Like how cool would he be if it was like all these guys going at him like during like the Liu Kang's chapter and Shang Tsung's guys attacking, he's just there like Nitara comes at him. Okay, then like Reptile comes at him. And then Baraka, and then he just there like pulls out a sword and like decapitates one while they're frozen, and then another.
I was thinking at least they could show like, oh, he can't keep on stopping time, and finally somebody ambushes him and everybody gets released. Like, oh, that's how you do it. No, he's just doesn't do it.
You could argue that in Chaos Reigns they bound his hands. Maybe he's like a bender in the Avatar series where when his hands are bound he can't use his powers. So he's like, no, just getting pulled into the portal.
Okay, so Good job, Geras. You made it on the list.
He had enough time dedicated to him that we have to put him.
I know. Do you guys particularly like Hanzo and? I know. You know what? That's a dumb question. Of course, I know Dog likes Kuai Liang, Sub-Zero. Man, I don't really have anything against these characters, but what shocked me is both of them aren't on my top 10. It's like, I was impressed. Like, I know they're beloved characters. They have a lot going on for them, but it's just like, they're not special enough to the point where I put them on a top 10 for myself. But I can't argue with them, honestly.
See, I like Hanzo a lot because of his actual development. Because everyone knows. He was manipulated by Quan Chi, and then he made peace with Sub-Zero, which actually was a Kuai Liang thing. He opted for that, and Scorpion almost didn't go for it. But then, in time, he becomes this like wise mentor, which clearly is fueled by what his rage does. Like, he very much is like what new Kratos is. So I think if you like new Kratos, you'll like Hanzo in MK11, because his rage stopped the good guys from being turned back from Revenants. Because he killed Quan Chi, and so clearly that weighs heavily on him. So now he's like reaching out to his younger self, like trying to bring him around. Like, this is the way we should be thinking, not letting our rage control us. And then and him passing that lesson on to his past self as he dies. Even though the actual circumstances that led up to that are not great, I think that it is a solid narrative moment.
He did get to influence his younger self too, so he does do that.
If it had been Noob Saibot killing him, obviously that would have been way better. But as it currently stands,
for
like,
narrative speaking,
I still really like what Hanzo's story arc is, where it leads to. And
I think MK9, X, and 11, Hanzo's arc is great. Like, I think this character getting to 11 is just like, oh, that's cool. We see him. A human Hanzo, just like, that's pretty daring too. It's like, as a main like character in that game, like fighting and stuff. I do like that arc for him. I'm just thinking Kuai Liang here. Sorry, go Dog.
Hanzo's got a really cool arc, but also he has that like awesome look. He's got the fire weapons combined with his like ninja stuff that they keep finding creative stuff to do with. Like, you think they're not gonna find new stuff to do with this kid, then they keep giving him new stuff, and you're like, oh, nice, really cool. But also the skull face where he breathes fire. That can't be taken back for how cool that is.
I mean, it's always the fact that he's part hell is a very cool lore thing, which he just doesn't have in Mortal Kombat 1. So that's just really iconic and cool. I can't deny that.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'll say that
Kuai Liang.
I like how you already circled Kuai Liang, Dog.
I just want to finish what I was saying about Scorpion, because the midway version as well also had a lot of the same beats. It's just that with him, because he was kind of flip-flopping a bit, because obviously the story was kind of... He didn't get all the information right away, so him becoming allies with Sub-Zero was a short-term thing. It didn't last because Quan Chi manipulated him, whereas in the newer timeline, he kind of gets all that up front before they become friends. So some people say that Scorpion was a bit of an uneven character, where he's neutral but like leaning on bad guy because he's trying to kill a guy who's trying to kill Shang Tsung, and then he's flat out a good guy for the next two, then flat out a bad guy, then he's neutral, just doing his own thing, go after one of the bad guys, so he's leading a bit more good, then he's flat out a hero again for Deception, then Armageddon he's flat out a villain because now he's trying to kill the Elder Gods. But I like how he always had his own motivations the whole time. He wasn't one of those characters, because as the series went on, even towards the end of the midway era, it started to become a bit more good guys versus bad guys, especially in Armageddon. But he was always like the guy looking out for himself and doing his own. He had his own motives.
The anti-hero.
Yes,
right,
so you never knew what you were going to get with him. It wasn't just like, nowadays you're always going to have a Scorpion Sub-Zero fight. Back then, Scorpion would go games at a time without even interacting with Sub-Zero, and I like that aspect of his character. I think he was one of the more standout characters for initially just what his roles would be in each game, and then with the NetherRealm era where we had like a more focused narrative, I guess, with the story modes, what his character arc is, his development from being a villain to being this remorseful guy who wants to mentor the next generation. Would have been strong if Takeda was an MK11, but again, NetherRealm drops the ball and stuff like that. But
true.
I think a lot of people would say Scorpion is the face of the series. He's like the guy. He has to be on the top 10. I think as a character, Hanzo deserves to be top 10.
You make a very compelling point. I can't deny any of that. And also a good point. We're specifically talking about Hanzo, and this motherfucker is not in the gameplay or in the story mode of Mortal Kombat 1. He's only mentioned in an arcade ending, so we can't really he can't be nerfed too much because of that. I mean, it sucks that he's just a little kid now, but he's barely in that game, so it's like not much. Kuai Liang, on the other hand, but we're gonna discuss about him now. So, Dog, why do you like Kuai Liang?
Well, I mean, I think when you compare Sub-Zero and Scorpion, I've always been an ardent or arduent, whatever the word is. I've been a big defender of Sub-Zero being the better character because I feel like he just has more of a role to play in the story. He usually causes more things to happen. Scorpion gets reduced to a villain in some of the games, just like a straight-up background villain, like in Armageddon and stuff. But like Sub-Zero is still actively doing things, He's starting his own clan all over again. He trains new characters that show up. He even mentors the Kombat Kids in Mortal Kombat X to an extent, and also comes to their rescue. So even in Mortal Kombat X, he's playing some big roles here and there. I would argue Sub-Zero is not only cool and iconic to the series with his look and powers alone, but he also plays a pretty key role in most of the stories. And until you scratched off Bi-Han and made them separate characters, I was going to argue that Sub-Zero, like the mantle, has also had his own game. So, like, that's pretty crazy too.
Yeah. Again, but the thing is,
iconic in its own way.
The thing is, if we don't separate Bi-Han from Kuai Liang, Scorpion is going to be like Kuai Liang for one game too. So that's going to like affect Scorpion's score.
And Sub-Zero would get dragged down by Bi-Han.
Okay. But I mean, that's true, but I would also argue that Kuai Liang in MK1, like, yeah, it's still Kuai Liang. He doesn't act too different from him, but there's certain moments where I'm like, the Kuai Liang I know wouldn't have behaved that way. That's just them trying to combine Scorpion and Kuai Liang into one person. That's why he gets Angie Boy sometimes and all that. So I don't even want to consider him at all. I want to just scratch out or just pretend that
Mortal Kombat 1 is Kuai Liang. We all do, unfortunately. Yeah. We all do. But don't worry, he gets buffed because he's in Fortnite. Kuai Liang is in Fortnite. Woo!
There
he's
going
to get a buff that way.
Already makes him the best.
Fortnite Battle Pass, top 10 for that alone.
Is it my turn to do a controversial pick? Or maybe not a controversial pick, but I want to scratch somebody off real quick.
Go ahead. I think we are kind of balanced right now. Hey, don't just scratch him. At least make a point. Jeez.
Okay, I'm putting a little X next to him. I'm threatening him. So Ermac. Defend Ermac, because I have a reason why I think that he is not top 10 ever.
So Ermac was my second favorite Mortal Kombat character ever, just based off of his setup alone. The fact that you have this character with thousands of souls mushed into one being, fucking badass as hell. I thought that was the coolest shit ever when I saw that as a kid. I still like his design a lot too, like the black ribbon mummified design and his abilities being very cool with the shenanigans. But I will say most of the things I like about this character is based off of his gameplay designs, his character designs, and the setup. The lore of the character, the setup of the character is what I really like about him. His lore is fine. I think the best things that he gets is when he escapes from Shao Kahn and goes on his little journey in the Midway timeline. I think it's really cool that they straight up just confirm MK9's arcade ending for him and let Jade be a part of Ermac, and at least it's a part of him, not like Jade is just Ermac forever. I thought that was a little cool thing to do from him, but overall I can only defend and only like Ermac purely from design.
Mm-hmm. It's worth noting that Ermac kind of, more so than even Reptile, is MK's history of weird secrets.
That was one thing I was about to bring up too, yes.
Because Reptile was in MK1, yes, as a secret, but Ermac was rumoured for years, and then they made it real. And that kind of set the precedent for all the other stuff, all the other ones that came after, like Scarlet and whatnot.
Was Jade and Smoke ever, or Noob Saiba, were they ever? No, they were added in MK2.
They were just secrets in 2, yeah. But anything like that where some weird, has been a rumour or something where fans have just latched onto this weird thing like Tremor and said, we want that in the games, and then it became real, like Meat as well. All of it kind of traces back to Ermac, I would say. Some might say he goes further. I say Ermac is where it really all started. So he's a very important character for the series. That can't be denied. How much you like him, individual, but no one can deny that Ermac is one of the most important characters in the whole franchise because of what he represents for the series relationship between the developers and the fans. And how there's always been this kind of almost symbiotic relationship, in a sense, not too much, but it's always been there. And Ermac just kind of is the embodiment of that. We are the souls. We, the fans, are the souls within Ermac. If you want to be pretentious like that.
That's very cute. Cross him out. I can give away Ermac. It's okay. As much as I like this character, as
Here
much
was
as I
going to
did,
be my reasoning for why to get rid of him, just so I could say my piece. Yes, really cool origin with the rumor. Really cool concept of him being 1,000 souls put together, and even his telekinesis was a unique ability that nobody had at the time. And looking back on it, I will even say he had a cool glow up in Deception, because he became a good guy and it was helping people, so that's really cool. But then ever since, I feel like he's been constantly living in Kenshi's shadow. And if they're both in the same game, it's like Kenshi has the mind powers, but can also astral project his form. He can like fight with a sword, which is cool. He's the blind guy. It's interesting. And he's got an actual personality and can talk and stuff. Whereas Ermac's like, I am many, you are one. Like in the recent games, you know. So
Yeah,
I never thought of it as an overshadow, actually. I always thought they were very different enough.
I don't know that I would agree with that necessarily. Like, I can see why on the surface it's kind of like they do the same thing, but one's like a cool blind swordsman guy. But I don't think I agree that there is an overshadowing thing. But it's definitely, I think we can all agree that yes, Ermac has indeed been dramatically nerfed in terms of power level and achievements and interesting character moments since the NetherRealm era started. M1K helped, but then the design dragged him back right back down to hell. So
I'm starting to like that design only because of the mask.
But then M1K came out with all these really cool moves when he became DLC, and the mask was actually really cool.
Yeah, I have a question then, Dog.
Maybe the coolest it's ever been.
Do you agree with that for Mortal Kombat 1? Like, do you think Kenshi's like his set is cooler than Ermac? Gameplay.
So, well, here's the thing, right? Ermac's always going to be the red ninja, whereas Kenshi is his own thing, like 100%. So, like, you're always going to have a derivative versus an original. And I think that Ermac, even in MK1, like, it's cool to give him the layers with Jade. I think if they let him actually have a stance switch, where he's like half movesets are King Jade and half movesets are classic Ermac, that would have been way more interesting. But he gets reverted back to regular Ermac, who is, I can't nail down what his personality is in the NetherRealm eras, except that I do what my boss says. And also, I'm slowly dying because I'm a husk. I'm technically an homunculus, so I'm like slowly falling apart or losing control.
The Ermac escapes from being Quan Chi's boss by the DLC Ermac. He's his own. He's also going through like the midway. Like he's going on his journey, discovering what to do next, essentially.
Hopefully so. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Based on the intro dialogues, that's why I know.
I know. I'm just saying that NetherRealm always makes him like a lackey, so we'll see what they do, but. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
You know, I was saying how I don't see how it's like, you know, like the overshadow thing, but then I realized in M1K both can summon spirits as one of their main gimmicks. Fuck. Fuck.
Yeah, not to mention though, but here's one cool thing though. In MK1, it's implied what's directly showed in MK1 in his ending. He can just use the powers of the souls that he has, which is interesting. He's not just moving them around. He can use Sindel's Scream.
Yeah, he can.
That's kind of interesting. That would make him super OP story-wise. I think it's just a fun little thing to show in an arcade ending. Because if he actually gets to have that, it's going to be nuts.
Unfortunately, because he wasn't in the expansion, even though I think by this point in time, he should have reverted to Ermac, and so the struggle for Jade and Sindel have to reclaim control is still going on. If that had actually been a part of the story, I think Ermac might have actually been able to pull back up on this, because that idea
would be more emotional.
Yeah, those two like struggling to control the Ermac collective, and like that has a lot of potential for the next game. NetherRealm historically doesn't do well with following up on cool things they set up. So if we revisit this like 5 years from now after the next game comes out, Ermac might be able to make the top 10. I feel there's enough historical backing him from previous eras. It's just at present he's been dragged down a bit, but I think it's just about on that edge. He would be top 20 for sure, probably in top 15.
Happy to hear that.
So I think next, if we do this again in 5 years time, he might make it. At present, though,
hopefully.
At present, I don't think he's quite there yet.
Yeah. While we're talking about all this, since you brought him up, I think Kenshi's top 10. What do you guys think? I think we should be okay with Kenshi being top 10.
I'm okay with Kenshi being top 10 only because if you had to pick a character to represent like each era, you can make a good case that Kenshi is very heavily associated with the 3D era.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I like to compliment about Kenshi, but I'll talk about them if we need to defend. I need to defend him. I just want to circle Kenshi because I think we all agree he's cool. Okay, so
didn't we I may be unfamiliar here, but didn't we agree to cross out Raiden earlier? But he's circled.
You were the one who really wanted Raiden to be defended. You were like Raiden's top
Okay.
3 or something. They were top 5, so
Crossing
that's why
out.
we decided to keep him for now.
We're getting to where it's actually tricky here now. We're gonna have to start upsetting people. It looks like because we've got a lot.
True, but let's get rid of the characters
famous
who we haven't
boys.
circled yet right now. I think we could. I think I agree. We circle Melina. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Melina's a big deal. I'll defend her. Melina, not only of course is sex appeal
defend her
and
when we
violence.
need to, but like
Yeah,
that's
I think
we
the
all
ones that-
agree.
Okay.
We all agree. Melina's
I
top
think the
10.
ones that go
True.
straight through, we can hold off until we have got the top 10, and then we're like, well, we need to cut off 1 or 2 more. Even if it's just when we've got the top 10, let's decide what order they go in. Because it has to be a top
That's
10.
the
It's not
point.
just-
We
it's
need
not
a
just-
10.
It's not just the 10 best, it's where do they go in that top 10.
Exactly. We need to circle all the characters we want, and then we're gonna have to cross out until we have 10. Then we rank them. So
I
I'm
think
gonna
if
die on the
that's-
hill, Reptile. So
I think
let's circle
that's-
him for now.
I think by that same metric, Johnny and Shang Tsung guaranteed.
Circle him. Circle him. Yes,
Yeah.
circle him. Could you? Okay. Could you please? I'm not attacking directly, but please give some defense for why you think Sindel should be top 10.
I knew it was going to be Sindel you're going to bring up for this.
I'll
No,
defend
we
her
gotta
too
talk-
with you, Snake. I'll defend her too. So you go ahead.
Okay,
and
you
go
have 2
first.
people. That's
Yeah.
enough. Let's go. Just circle her.
Okay.
Oh,
Just circle her.
Okay.
We'll talk more about Sindel eventually.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. What do you guys think about Kitana?
Bland,
I'll be honest.
To be honest.
I put her up there as like maybe number 11 or 12 on my list. So
Like, she has
Oh.
she has a pretty good number of like dynamics with other characters like Liu Kang, Melina, Sindel, Jade, like Shao Kahn, occasionally some other characters.
huh?
But so she's one of the more interconnected characters, but she has very little personality. M1K certainly has not helped in that regard. Like anything interesting
Oof.
she had has gone to Melina.
And like Snake said, she spends most games mind controlled, so you never get to even see the true her until she's freed.
I'm very surprised how well. No, okay, no, not entirely always mind control. She's also more just on the villain side before she finds out about the truth for the early parts. Then she becomes a good guy. Then she gets mind controlled. I've counted. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 12. Wait. I missed out Cassie Cage and Shujinko. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I missed out on Cassie Cage and Shujinko. I'm gonna throw a question,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna need some good answers here.
Sonya?
Yeah, I don't think she's that great.
No.
Yeah, the problem is Sonya seems like, because she's been in the very first game, you want to defend her as like the OG lady character. But the problem is she's so upstaged by the other lady characters, and it doesn't help that
Yeah.
in most of the games she's just soldier lady. They give her no
Yep.
personality
And
outside of
like-
I like being in the military. Yeah.
And it's also like soldier character. Jax has the cool arm gimmick. He has more than her.
Yeah.
Like, Sonya has very little to offer. She kind of is the first lady of the series. She's the Chun-Li of MK, as it were. But unfortunately,
That's one
she
way to
has,
put it.
She has nothing else really backing her. Like she
I-
the most interesting I feel she ever was in MKX, just because the idea of the relationship that breaks down because one of the characters can't balance work and family well, and it being the woman in that role, whereas usually it's the man. That's kind of neat. That's kind of
Yeah, she's
also
cool in MKX.
yeah.
I think
yeah.
if
I
they
mean,
just
I'm
made her a
sorry,
bit more fun or something, maybe, because all the lady characters are so serious. If she'd been the funny one, but that went to Cassie instead, so now that door's shut.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Sonic.
I'm sorry. She's also got a super nerf thanks to Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
I
and,
think
and
looking
her,
back on it,
the way she treats Cassie in that, and then the way the resolution comes out of nowhere, it's like the horrible writing really does drag Sonya down.
It also
unfortunately.
sucks because that is MKX, MK11. That's supposed to be the same Sonya, and all of a sudden she just completely changes her. She's like the serious stoic character in MKX, but in MK11 she's Ronda Rousey. So
yeah.
okay.
I
So
agree.
sorry, Sonya. Like, you're iconic. Your gameplay is fun, I'm assuming, but
Ironically, Sonya had more personality in the Defender of the Realms TV show. Like, yeah, it was corny for her to yell "Combat time" and
yeah,
run
I love
in,
her.
but
She's
at least
so
it makes her
funny.
slightly more than just military lady. Yeah.
she's so like sassy
Yeah,
and
like,
grumpy.
like she had a whole
She's so
episode.
funny.
She had like a whole episode dedicated to the fact that she was just too headstrong and got Stryker injured, And so there's
Yes.
an episode about that, and there's an episode that's about how much Jax means to her, for example. Like there's stuff like there's one where she's bonded with Kitana. She actually had quite a lot going on for her in that show.
She bonded with Cabal, right, in that show?
Yeah,
like she's
so
like
there's
she
like
actually cared
4
for
episodes
Cabal.
that put a lot of focus on Sonya out of the 13, but in the games just don't really know what to do with her. She is. It's like Kano, just that
like generic girl that she's really iconic. She is very iconic though. So yeah. Not like I get what you mean, Kano.
I'm sure she'll be in the next batch of Fortnite characters, but
what do you mean? She's already in Fortnite. We've already got Ellen Ripley. We've already got
Sarah Garner.
Let's see. I guess we're gonna circle these characters for now, but they will be cut eventually. I guess Liu Kang is the iconic.
You saying Ellen Ripley though, it makes me think. Yeah, if we just did like the Ellen Ripley or Claire Redfield thing, well, here's a story about Sonya keeping her young daughter safe, like keeping Cassie safe, like in like a war zone, or she's abducted by the Black Dragon. It's just Sonya like
that would be really cute.
Like full Mama Bear mode, just like tearing down the Black Dragon to save her daughter. Like there's a Legends film I want to see. Dude who makes really Legends films, if you're watching, you can get him on. You might be able to salvage Sonya. As she, and maybe she'll be on the next list if that movie comes out. Unfortunately, I don't think so. Well, I guess the other make or break is what will her dynamic be with Johnny in the new movie.
True. Okay. Last character that I haven't circled here. We haven't circled here is Shao Kahn. Iconic boss character.
I like how you circled Liu Kang without asking anyone.
Of course, it's fucking Liu Kang.
Yeah, I can't believe you did that, Sonic. Why on earth would you?
In the middle of your speech, I said I'm just gonna circle Liu
That's
Kang,
crazy.
and nobody else denied that.
I was talking about Sonya.
Okay. Ironically, actually, I almost have more points against Liu Kang but I do. There is something I really like about Liu Kang. That's why I also put him in my top 10.
So do we agree on Shao Kahn or not? Because if we don't, I'll defend him. But Snake, do you think that Shao Kahn moves on?
We can circle him first, but then we're gonna have to deal with 30. Yeah, we have to kill 3 characters after this.
Yeah, we're at the point now where we've almost got the top 10. So this is kind of the point where we're settling on the 3 to get rid of, and then the top 10. So I think
I'll circle him for now. Oh, you already circled him.
Yeah. So that's up 13. You got at the minute.
Yes, I think we're gonna have to start to look at some of these characters and be like, okay, Raiden's gone already. I see. So that's
I scratched him out myself.
Yeah, this is where things start to get tough. I think we get rid of Cassie Cage.
Get rid of Shujinko first. He's just the avatar.
Wait. We need to actually have the discussion, though. We can't just say just get rid.
Of course, he's targeting you basically.
I do think
Ironically, I'm targeting you too.
Before we go back to them, we should focus on the characters we haven't actually discussed yet, because we might find one of them and go, actually, there's not much really going for a Shao Kahn, for example. So I think we should talk about them first.
Okay, you want to talk about Shao Kahn? Okay,
I'll talk about him. So I understand that in recent years especially, Shang Tsung's gotten a lot of the limelight because he has that character. I was about to bring that up.
Shang Tsung's just better. Sorry.
He's got that mood about him. And I agree, but I feel like Shao Kahn will always be, when you think of like Mortal Kombat, the main villain.
Final
Not
boss.
just like the favorite, but the main villain. It's always going to be Shao Kahn. And I would add to that by saying that Shang Tsung's entire gimmick of stealing souls and stuff is an ability that Shao Kahn has, like just casually. We only get to see it in MK9, but it's been established before in earlier lore that he taught that to Shang Tsung. So Shang Tsung's entire gimmick is something that Shao Kahn casually has. So I would add that too, that like if you gotta come down to the main villain, it's just Shao Kahn. I think he's just cooler. He can summon weapons on the fly, he can do the soul magic. He laughs in your face. He taunts your ass. He says you suck. Like, come on, that's awesome. Love that.
I'm gonna say this.
And yet, ironically, how he sucks in MK9. He can't think for himself. He can't make any decision with any kind of intellect at all. He's just a dumb brute. He loses every fight he's in. And then MK11, he loses consistently. He loses to frigging Kotal and Kitana. And then he does get his victories alongside his wife. He doesn't actually get to do anything on his own, really. And then you go to the newest one, and you're like, you beat him like across the different versions. You beat him like four times. It's like he has absolutely. I mean, I do. You are right about
because
like,
the realm hates him though because they made him a Trump stand-in, so he's not allowed to win now.
I know, but with the other characters we have considered.
Unless you pick him in the arc in the final chapter.
We have also considered other characters and gone through and gone like, well, this character was really good, but then the NetherRealm era really dragged them down because of this bad thing, this bad thing, this bad thing. I do feel that applies to Shao Kahn as well. I think he is.
I'm going to bring up something about Shao Kahn.
Of a lot of what made him great over the years. Like, go back to the 3D era, phenomenal. Arcade era, great. He served his purpose very well. He was great throughout the Midway games, but then with NetherRealm, because of the way they've done the games, he's really just dropped off, and now he's not even got. There's not even any story thing that's like, yeah, he's the Emperor, he's done all this stuff. Now he's just, he won these battles that we know nothing. We can understand the idea of his forces won Mortal Kombat and he's conquered realms. We can understand what that is. But here it's like, oh, he won this battle. What are these battles? We don't have any kind of context to kind of grasp what that is, you know?
So I'm going to say something here. Shao Kahn, iconic. If you want to argue Shao Kahn being the most iconic final boss character, all that jazz, like a great villain, a great final boss, sure. Top 10 best Mortal Kombat characters. I don't think so.
I would still say yes, only because I think if he was handled correctly, he would always have that. And think about how hype it was when he got revealed as the pre-order bonus compared to when Shang Tsung got revealed, and it was like, what? He's not.
No,
he's not
I wasn't
on that
hyped
level.
for him for a reveal. Honestly,
Shang Tsung's not pre-order bonus level. Like, he's just not, and that speaks for itself. I think. Like,
sure,
Shang Tsung is not.
I wasn't that hyped for Shao Kahn. I mean, you know
well,
what? Playing with Shao Kahn was kind of cute.
Okay.
I guess. You know what? That is cute. I guess. True. I'm more
And
hyped for
I know,
Goro
like, it's
and
fun.
MKX.
Yes, it's fun that Shang Tsung has the gimmick of, I could technically be someone in disguise. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. But so could Shao Kahn if the writers just knew how to use him, because he can also do
So could
that.
Shao Kahn, but he never uses it, so it's not established with this character.
Yeah.
Like, you really shouldn't even like talk about it. He can do it. Doesn't mean like, oh, this top 10 iconic moments when Shao Kahn like turned into somebody else. Number 10 and MK and Deadly Alliance when he pretended not to be dead.
I'm just saying, Shang Tsung's always the appetizer. Shao Kahn's always the main course. If you want to put the appetizer in top 10, you go right ahead. But I'll die on the show.
Unfortunately, it gets flipped over in the modern days now.
The newest game is
But you don't like the modern day games. Why are they your source now?
Because we have to factor it all in, dog. It all counts, unfortunately.
Okay, guys.
Also, I need to make the argument.
Yeah.
You watched an MK Annihilation, right, dog?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And
Shao
it
Kahn,
was
Annihilation.
glorious.
Terrible, atrocious, absolutely horrendous.
Look. We don't need to cancel out Shao Kahn
is
now.
my favorite porn star.
Let's
in that
compare
movie.
favorite one.
Porn star.
I
Because the whole film
I
is
do-
shot like a porno, especially like the way that Shao Kahn like looks and acts. So yeah.
I
He's
do.
like Johnny
I
Sins in that
do.
movie.
I do love that 1 out of 10 movie. It's glorious, but
No, okay. I mean, you
that's
can
not-
scratch it off. I'm just saying that's my piece. So no one get mad at me in the comments. I tried.
okay. Like he at least he allows it. He did make it. He's top 15 easily. Top 15. He did try. Okay, now Cassie Cage.
Yeah, you can realistically scratch her out. She is a combat kid. Like, yeah, she's really popular. And I think she will forever exist in like the lexicon of fans. Like, even 20 years from now, if the game is still going, they'll be like, hey, remember Cassie Cage? Like, she's always going to have that bit of a fandom to her, but she is just a derivative of two other characters, so it's not fair to let her be constant.
A lot of what
5, 6, 7,
a lot of what I brought to the table to say why she deserves to be here is a lot of it is inference and what can be done with her as opposed to what we see like on screen, you know. So I'm willing to let Cassie go. So
Yeah.
Well, if you scratch
Look,
off Cassie, you got to
I
scratch
like
off
the combat-
Shujinko.
no, you don't, because Shujinko's
wait,
not what is
wait.
in the game, dog. That is what is in the game, you son of a bitch.
Okay. Wait. So
Well, I was gonna say because Cassie Cage beat his ass accidentally. That was gonna be my joke.
That doesn't fucking matter.
Just casually
Okay.
beat that old man's ass,
Okay, so
and he thanked her for
I wanted
it.
to say we are literally one character away from making the top 10 right now. And I think, personally, it's a three-way tie between...
I feel like
it's not gonna be a three-way tie because I'm gonna hear Snake defend Sindel for like an hour. I know that, so I'm not gonna bring
I'll
her up.
defend her too.
Well,
I'll
I think
defend
That's what I
before we-
mean. So here's the thing. Here's my proposal. It's going to be Shujinko versus Fujin.
Well, before that, I feel like we should actually have discussions about Sindel and Liu Kang, so the case can be made for those two characters. Then we'll have like the full, all the characters, because it's really weird to be like, you know, Shujinko's got all this, and this going. However, Liu Kang exists, therefore, you know, we shouldn't do that.
I guess so, but okay.
Should
I also gush about Reptile a bit, or we can talk about that in the top 10?
Yeah. Well, does that mean we've all got one character to defend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dog's got Liu Kang, you got Reptile, I've got Sindel. Just take a quick break, and then we can all do that.
Oh, you need the bathroom? Okay, yeah.
A quick break. Okay.
What happened to Snake's camera? What's going on?
Slap.
Oh my goodness! Snake, how long were you sitting there? I was scrolling Twitter, so I didn't even realize you were there. I don't think Dog has noticed you either. It's very funny. He's not back yet. He just left.
Makes sense. He do be like that.
I think he's talking to his honey. I just heard "I love you" and stuff like that.
Aww.
Very wholesome.
I'm basically doing what Ghostface does.
Well,
Puts an MP
True.
Actually, kind of works. I kind of dig it.
Oh, that's a cool outfit, Snake.
I've never worn a wig before this.
I didn't even notice the wig. Nice. So I wrote on Twitter, like, after that Fortnite trailer came out, I said, MK fans, we got crumbs, and someone replied this GIF.
The guy is just jizzing everywhere.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes! Oh, Sub-Zero's 3-second cameo. Oh. It's usually how, I think that's what happened with, like, Eren Yeager and, like, Optimus Prime, too. They just show up for, like, a little bit. Oh, they're here. Ahsoka from Star Wars is here.
You get the remains.
Here's an interesting question. So I think, like Snake said, Snake has Sindel, I have Reptile. Is Dog Liu Kang in terms of his, like, most wanting to defend character, or like Kuai Liang? I feel like you'd like Kuai Liang a bit more. I feel like. I
do, but I've already defended those characters. I haven't defended Liu Kang yet, is why Snake is saying that. He wanted to have us defend the characters that are circled, so the viewers don't feel like we're just skipping over it. They want, like, the defense. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing what Snake was trying to get at.
Yeah. Who should start, really?
I speak for the trees.
I'll speak for the Scalies just for a bit, basically. I feel like Reptile.
I speak for the goons.
The Goon Squad. I feel like in terms of an iconic design, not just in MK, but in like fighting games in general, I do think a lizard man ninja is cool as heck. In fact, I can even say that this guy influenced a lot of other Scaly fighters like Alex in Tekken, Eon Calcus from Soul Calibur, Riptar from Killer Instincts, and whatnot. Dude's got a lot of cool gameplay in terms of I'm appealing to the gameplay side of Chona Dog here. Like, if you always want to pick up a character,
he's not gonna fuck you, bro.
He's not gonna what?
He's not gonna fuck you, bro. You can stop
What the
glazing.
fuck does that have to do with I did not bring up R34 like stats like he did. Okay, I didn't say that shit.
You literally said Scaly.
So what? Scaly doesn't relate to Arthur. Jeez, Snake, another Scaly fellow. How dare you? There's another defense to be made that this guy doesn't have the best lore, because usually he does just like lose in a lot of the games, and he is trying his best to defend his like race, but it just keeps not going well for him. But I will say, M1K in terms of lore, and also a lot of people do like that design. I think that's where you can get a bit of a good story for him, a good arc for this character. So there's some things there that provide for him. And here's the thing though, that's just some of the things I like about Reptile. I haven't gushed everything about him yet. I just wanted to put that out there first. I'm segmenting it.
You like his feet.
I did not. Shut up. You like Sindel's feet. Now talk about Sindel.
True. Nah. Maybe make a case. Anyone make a case for why Reptile shouldn't be in it? Or
if you want to.
Yeah, we'll kill him later. I think we should shrink it down to the top 5 because we haven't fought enough yet. We need to have more fights.
Honestly, I like these fights. It's very fun. I like the Shao Kahn part.
We're going to arrange the final 10 characters eventually.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I proposed a truce to do something just then, but right now we're just talking about Sindel Liu Kang. It's all peaceful right now. Go ahead and tell us why you like Sindel so much. Okay.
Okay, then I'll do
go
Liu
ahead and
Kang
talk
then.
about why Liu Kang.
So I don't think Liu Kang even needs defending, but I'll do it. Not only is Liu Kang one of the poster characters of the series, so everyone knows about him, but he's almost always the main character in that medium. So whether it's a movie or the games, if he's in it, he's typically either the main character or one of the main characters. And if he gets pushed aside for any reason, people get angry about that. So, yeah. I mean, he's kind of like the character for Mortal Kombat. He gets overshadowed by Sub-Zero and Scorpion because they look cooler, and that's about it.
So I'm not gonna cut him off. I think he's gonna make the top 10. I will say, yeah, he's the main character. Lad's a bit generic too, in my opinion.
He is Bruce Lee, but with I guess, a better heart of gold. Because Bruce Lee straight up jumping on guys' backs and killing them. Yeah. He
is quite the not what's the opposite of Amy? What do they call those? Mary Sue, right? Like he's the
Gary
the guy who always wins. Like okay, early on.
Except he dies a lot though, so you can't even really call him a Gary Stu.
That was cool in Deadly Alliance.
Yeah.
I agree. And in fact, NRS
he dies again in other games. Dies in MK9. Died in
evil. But I mean, the thing is, he's either a generic guy who wins, or when things get interesting for him, his character doesn't his character development isn't the best. What do you guys think? Do you think he has a good development in MK9 and MKX?
9 was interesting, just him turning against Raiden. That was an interesting idea.
I thought it was interesting, yes.
Unfortunately,
and it felt fair because he wasn't trying to kill Raiden because he hated him. He was gonna hurt Raiden because Raiden was getting in between him and Shao, which he genuinely believed would be the end of all Earthrealm. And he just thought that Raiden had gone nuts. He's like, "What are you doing?" That combined with his anger over losing Kitana kind of makes sense in the moment. It's like the heat of passion.
Yeah.
And then in MKX, I love how he's kind of a dick to people because he knows how strong he is in the good guy form. If you pick old man Liu Kang, I kind of like it. I like how his first line to Ermac is, "Beg me not to kill you," pretty much. He goes, "Beg my 4 Grovins."
Nice.
And it's like, oh shit, I just love that stuff.
I feel
like I do like the idea of old man Liu Kang. I really wish they did go that route.
I think the problem with Liu Kang's story is the fact that in MK9, he's around for pretty much all the tournament because it's just a small group. He's always there. But then when you get to like the next 2 portions, he's mostly just not on screen, and so his dynamic with Kitana especially really suffers for that. Like, oh yeah, these two definitely have a thing going. We have 5 chapters in this part of the story. We don't see any of it. Like Liu Kang just pissed off at Raiden for something that makes sense on paper because of previous games, but within just the confines of this story, it's like, why is he so hell-bent on this Kitana person? Why does he care so much? And it really is...
he definitely,
Yeah, but
what's the word, like...
Not enough was done to really make it work, so he just kind of comes off like he's just kind of a psycho towards the end. Like, oh, I thought she was. What I mean. I thought she was hot, and you killed, and she died.
Well, no, he's not just Kitana. He's also doing that because oh my gosh, everyone is dead because of you, Raiden.
Yeah,
like,
but again, it really is like it's kind of like the big. That's really the climax of MK9. It's not the fight with Raiden, Shao Kahn. Really, it's the complete breakdown of Liu Kang and Raiden's relationship, which needed a lot more time in the oven. We needed a lot more time to see it actually happening. Because after Kung Lao's death, Liu Kang barely says a word to Raiden before he says, "You've gone mad, Raiden." Like 4 or 5 chapters later.
But Raiden, we go see the Elder Gods. Okay, and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything to the Elder Gods too.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I mean with Liu Kang. If he's just generic good guy, he's just generic. But if he's has a more darker side, if he tries to rebel, it doesn't go well for Liu Kang. And also, just they don't really take it to too interesting play. Well, the concept is interesting. It's just the execution could have been way better. Then there's the aspect that he turns into a god, which, well, Jonah Dog doesn't like that. He's gonna make a video about that and whatnot.
No, I don't mind him being a god. I think this is that he's very dumb.
No, I meant you don't like how he acts, is what I mean. I'm not saying him being a god is not a good thing. I almost kind of want to really dive deep into Mortal Kombat 1's version of Liu Kang, but okay, look, again, even though we're saying negatives, I think he's still gonna make it at least. But yeah, let's talk about Sindel.
But yeah, I just feel like unfortunately Liu Kang's the kind of character where it's not that he needs to have a lot of depth. A lot of times, the main character is somewhat bland. Like Street Fighter, Ryu wasn't really an interesting character until like Street Fighter 6, when they gave him some quirks. But
Wow.
sometimes you don't need to have the most complex main character because the other characters around them are enough. But when we're actually analysing Liu Kang in isolation, I really don't think there's actually that much there. I mean, I can easily still see him make the top 10. I'm just not sure that he's like a shoe-in the way a lot of people would say he is just because he's the main character.
I have one big positive, in fact, why Liu Kang made it into my top 10. I'm not saying it until like he's about to get axed or anything, but
it's also he's also unfortunately dragged down by all the weird changes to his timeline that make no sense. Like,
weirdly
why
enough,
are Sector and Cyrax women, Liu Kang? What's that about? What did you do?
Okay,
Why?
okay. We're literally not gonna argue for Liu Kang the changes in Mortal Kombat 1. I'm sorry. Why did you make this character that? I don't like that. I'm gonna nerf you. I'm gonna say you're not that top 10 because of that, Liu Kang. I don't think that's
it's not really fair, but that's not really on me. That's on NetherRealm for tying all the changes into a specific character who made those changes.
Bihan sucks ass, so that's blame it on Liu Kang. Like I don't really like seeing that as a character, like way of looking at him. I don't know. It's funny though, but I wouldn't use that as a criteria, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yes, please tell us why you like Sindel so much.
So, when she debuted in MK3, Sindel she was kind of unique in that, she's a villain, but actually she's not a villain. She's mind controlled. She actually is a good person, and that creates the contrast with her design. It's a very neat, kind of don't judge a book by its cover kind of thing. And also it was another case of building on something that was established previously, because Kitana's parents were mentioned in the previous game, and about Shao Kahn conquering Edenia / Outworld, depending on what it was at the time by each game. But then, so it's like Onaga, there's some build up to it. Not as much as Onaga, but, there's some there, then suddenly, now she's a character. And the way she was utilised by Shao Kahn was brilliant. She's like a really good... It makes a lot of sense, her role here, how it can kind of break the rules. Sindel is a key part of that. And she also just has a really solid design. It's rare for Sindel to have like a bad design, and like the core of what's like always there is very solid. It's very good.
It's unique. I will agree. A lot of sorry, go on.
No, you go on.
I was just gonna say a lot of people in drag like her. That's what I've heard. I've heard this. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sindel probably will survive to the top 10, but unfortunately,
there's still more to go.
NRS did not do favors for her.
That's true. But Deception, yes. she was fantastic. Little role reversal with Kitana, where Kitana's the one mind controlled now, and now Sindel's trying to redeem herself and be the mother that her daughter deserves, be the queen her people deserve after failing so much, and that was really good. And then of course there's potential for her to do more in the next game, which is set in Edenia on her doorstep. So, but nothing was really done with that, unfortunately. And then again, NetherRealm really dragged her down. MK9,
fine, like she's mind control, right? Evil.
Yeah, because of the mind control.
She's a good villain, I guess.
Yeah, it was really just. Unfortunately, she is the face of the moment. Like even people
What's
people who like MK9, a lot of them really still hate that moment. And unfortunately, a lot of that hate passed on to Sindel.
Absolutely. Even as a kid, actually, what I find very interesting about, because MK9 is the first MK game I ever experienced, so I only knew Sindel was not a villain because of the arcade ending. It was like, oh, she broke the curse, and now she's a benevolent queen again. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I never knew about that. I wasn't paying attention to the story, but yeah. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say that, like, in a game like Mortal Kombat, where so many characters are palette swaps or have similar abilities to each other, Sindel really stands out for having a very iconic and unique look and also power set. That's interesting to me. Like, it's all hers.
That's very fair.
So that's one more reason to make her in the top 10 is, like, she's very unique.
Additionally, I'll say this. Even though, I famously did not like what was done with her in MK11. Everyone is aware of this. Even people who don't know who I am know this fact.
No. Even people that don't even know who you are know Twindell.
Yes. True. I mean, the fact that term took off kind of says a lot, but I do believe there was a certain Mr. text-to-speech reviewer who said he thought it was very fun to see her and Shao Kahn storming through. So even though I don't like that stuff, one of us here does. Therefore,
no, actually,
she gets points.
Snake. Me and Dog agree with that. We think it's funny as hell. Dog in his recent secret video also, or Valentine video, also said, "This sucks ass, but I have to admit this power couple was funny to see on screen."
So
right, you said that,
yeah,
Dog,
because I knew that it wasn't. Because I knew that it wasn't canon, so I didn't care. Yeah.
So even when when I'm here, like, yeah, this is dumb and awful and I hate it. You two are like, but it's really good though. Therefore, like,
you didn't say it's good. It's funny. It's bad, but it's funny. It's entertaining.
Make no mistake, Snake. If I could go back in time and stop that from happening, I would. I'm not glad that it happened.
Yeah, but ultimately, every single era of Sindel is defended to some degree by at least one of us.
True.
Except for M1K. But even then, it was
okay. Hang on. M1K Sindel is at least a good guy Sindel. It's not a bad Sindel.
Yeah, it's a joke. She's fine in M1K. Yeah, she's fine.
Her outfit's garbage.
Her design, her outfit that drags her down, but her actual role in the story is
outfits
good.
Eventually, so
I like I like the way they did try and mesh the two characters together to create like a stern parent who's like got a bit of like a domination kind of streak to her, but he's still at heart the same person she always was before 11. So I like the way they handled it. I think that was a good balance. It's just unfortunate that she was ultimately just there to ultimately die so that Mileena can become the Empress. But yeah, I like what they did with her overall. So I feel like 11 is the only downside for me, and you two still found that fun. And I mean, even I can still look at that scene and go, at least the bad guys got to get some wins for once. So I feel like there's a lot going for Sindel, to where I would argue she should make the top 10.
She will, because well, unless you disagree with me, because that was all the discussions. Every circle character has been talked about. Like I proposed, I think it's a battle between Fujin and Shujinko. What do you guys think about that? Do you think there's any character worse than these two?
Not necessarily the case of worse, but I feel like, for me personally, if I was going through these and going, okay, one of these has to go, it would be between.
Yeah,
I'd put Liu Kang in there as well, personally.
I think Liu Kang is good enough. Personally, what do you think, Dog? What do you think?
I mean, I would say it's
actually
also
no, Dog.
Shujinko
You don't like
versus...
either of them, so you're definitely going to support Liu Kang not being there. So Liu Kang makes it. So it's definitely that. Yeah, Liu Kang won't be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I just talked for Dog. My bad. Is that true?
That's fine. I would say. I mean, I still think Shujinko is the one that gets the axe, because even though I think he has potential, we have to go off what they are, not what they could be. And I don't have any. I can't describe Shujinko without describing what he does. Like, I don't know what his personality even is.
That's unfortunate, because as much as I want to put Shujinko on this top 10 because of what he represents, because of conquest mode, because of like everything there, I do think Fujin is just too cool for me. I think Fujin, this character design, this character archetype, everything, I just like this more. And like I said, if I grew up with Deception, I played Deception, I had this within me a lot more, I may have been able to pick Shujinko.
I'm looking through all the other characters and thinking, which of these would I put Shujinko above? And I feel like I'd maybe put him above Liu Kang, but I don't think I'd put him above any of the rest, honestly. So I think, I'm willing to let Shujinko go, but he's like number 11 on the list.
Yeah, that's right. Number 11, we can say that. And this is the thing, though. This is the fun thing. It's not about what our favorite characters are. It's about who we think, or it's about compromise. It's about a lot of debating, and also like you said, you like him more than Liu Kang, but we are gonna put him as me and Dog, we're gonna we think Shujinko should be 11.
Yeah.
So that's why you agree with that. Yeah.
I'm willing to make compromises as long as your reasons aren't completely shallow. Like, he's the main character, he has to be hit. That can get in the sea. But when if you can make some good arguments for Liu Kang being there, sure.
Okay.
So our finalists are Shang Tsung, Johnny Cage, Sindel, Fujin, Hasashi Hanzo, Kuai Liang, Takahashi Kenshi, Reptile, Liu Kang, Mileena. That's a solid list. mean,
Yeah.
that's a solid starting point for a game roster, to be honest.
It's an interesting list. Should I arrange them
So
like in a
what
ladder format?
I was thinking of doing like a new whiteboard, or do you want to go to like just move, like go to your left side or something like that? You know,
Just-
because
Yeah,
this
just
is
go
an
to the
infinite
side.
white-
Yeah,
just put off
'cause
the-
you
Okay,
can just
okay.
grab them and move them. Like
I guess,
yeah,
but I would
so-
prefer. I mean, no, wait. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just draw 1 to 10. So like, I'll start drawing it here. So just like, okay, top
I got you. Go ahead.
10 exclamation point, and then do like 1. Okay, you can draw it if you want to.
11.
Not too big, because that's the characters aren't that big.
Oh yeah, sure.
Maybe a little
'Cause
smaller.
I'm zoomed out to 9%. That's why. So
I think my
Yeah.
penmanship is better. Maybe I should do it.
Well, he is the teacher here, so I think maybe he does have the better.
right.
Just
Well,
draw
let-
1 to 10,
well,
basically.
Let me ask you this, Dog. Have you ever written it in felt tip pen on an interactive whiteboard?
Oh yes, yeah. I have
Like a
before. I
marker.
don't prefer it though. I prefer just to draw.
No,
a
I mean,
whiteboard or-
the actual electronic ones.
yeah, I have before. Yeah.
You've used a marker on an electronic whiteboard.
A marker? No, I thought you meant like the felt marker, like the ones that like don't leave a mark.
No, I mean because a lot of teachers, especially like substitute teachers in my day, would do
Make a
that.
mistake and draw on it by accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one substitute. No, not sorry. We had one main teacher, a math teacher, who almost did that. It was super funny. He caught himself though, and he's always like a fun teacher who like he acts ridiculous whenever it's a time to be funny. He seizes that moment because he wants you to wake up and stay awake in his class. So he's a math teacher and a coach. He was going to do it. He had the marker going right towards it, and he went "Dad!" Tossed it behind him. Y'all almost let me do it too. And he points at the class. He's like,
my
I
goodness.
almost did it.
Okay,
But
so
no, I never made that mistake.
we've reached the top 10 best Mortal Kombat's list right now, so it's
Well-
gonna come down to the wire. It's
well,
gonna come
I
down
think-
to really debating.
I think one thing we could do is go through each character and say how many of us would say they should be in the top 5, and then start on the 5 that probably wouldn't.
Sure, but I also do think that number 10, number 9, I think we are getting close to agreeing. Okay, number 10 is Fujin. I don't think we deny that now. I think that's an easy one.
Yeah.
So let's put them there. Congratulations, Fujin, number 10 on best fucking Mortal Kombat character ever.
Because
We
of
got him
one
up there.
game. Because of
Because
one
of
game,
one
he made
fucking
it
game.
into top 10.
He has other games, but because of one game. That's
I
the
thought
that
you
is
grabbed
the
that.
NRS character in my opinion. That is
Fujin.
like made by NRS kind of character. Fujin.
I'm going to cross them out in green so we know we've got them on the list.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay.
Do you think Liu Kang is number 9? Or do you think there are characters on this list that are worse than Liu Kang?
I think
do we kind of
Sindel's
agree that-
number 9, because like he's the main character.
That's shallow, Dog.
That's
You can't
not
do
enough.
that.
That's not enough for me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought because we're talking about the best Mortal Kombat characters, that the main character in every game and film would be higher than number 9. Sorry.
Dog,
Nail
dog,
me to the
Nah.
cross.
Dog.
I
your
think
opin-
Scorpion, the
your-
poster child,
Dog,
will be higher.
your opinions are only valid if they're good.
It's a good opinion.
Also worth mentioning, like, that shit ain't gonna work on me. Like I said earlier on, main protagonist type characters, I don't usually lean towards anyways. The people.
It's not just the
will
main
want
character.
Liu
Like the
Kang.
series wraps around him. Like he is quite literally pushing the plot forward in a lot of these games. But okay.
His pushing the plot forward early on
let
is
me
just,
ask you.
"He beat
Let me ask you
the
this,
bad
Dog.
guy."
Right.
Yay.
So, let's say you say Street Fighter. You play Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
So let's say they started putting a load of MK characters in Street Fighter, one at a time. When would you put Liu Kang in? How many characters would make it into Street Fighter before you'd put Liu Kang in?
Liu Kang would be number 3
Really?
behind Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Yeah.
That wasn't the case for
Because
Injustice.
he would fit well in Street Fighter. He's not a
unfortunately.
super violent guy, so he'd fit well.
I guess
but-
so.
Yeah. Kitana and Melina would be cool too, but Melina's probably too sexy by today's standards. But they could just give her a default outfit that's not sexy. Because like Cammy's got the booty hanging out. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. How do we decide this? Did we take turns? Because how do they do it in the show, Sonic? How do they actually put people at that spot? And then, like,
Basically, well, first off, they sometimes deadlock because there's 4 people, so 2 people might agree, 2 people might not. We have 3, so it's be easier here.
okay, so do
I'm
2 out of
gonna-
3
I'm
agree
really
that Liu
looking at
Kang
this
is number
list.
9?
Here's the thing, though. On my own list, I put him as number 10. Like, so
Oh.
I really don't have any other characters here that I like more. Well, oh shit, never mind. I put Liu Kang as number 10. That means, theoretically speaking, Hanzo and Kuai Liang are worse than him.
Okay.
But I don't think you would agree with that. I don't think you think Scorpion or Sub-Zero is worse than Liu Kang.
No, I think they're just too important. Like whenever a guest character shows up, it's always one of them. So I think that speaks for itself. And it's not just a popularity contest, but like the reason they became popular is because they're so interesting and cool. Where it's the opposite for Liu Kang. I think a lot of casual players don't like Liu Kang because he is the Boy Scout. But I've always been a fan of those superhero characters. But I think I've overruled here, and I'm fine with that. I'll put Liu Kang at number 9 if you and Snake both agree that he's number 9.
Yeah,
yes. I will say the reason why I put him on number 10 by the end, back when I was making my mock list, is because of the 95 movie.
Dog, you love him so much you can't spell his fucking name right. Louis Kang.
Oh, I put the I in the wrong spot.
Caught in 4K.
Well, don't worry. It's super easy. You just
in terms of
this.
quote unquote generic good guy Liu Kang goes, I think I liked his arc a lot in the 95 movie. I thought,
did spell
this
it wrong?
is just
Damn.
a great arc for him, essentially.
Oh, it is.
Ooh, this is
sure.
tough now.
Like, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. He's not a bad character.
No.
He's just a little on the bland side. He's just somewhat get by just for being one of the original characters and being the main character. I just think these other 8 characters are generally more interesting, like in terms of story or abilities or looks, compared to him.
It's fair.
Ooh.
And that's fine. Like, most series are like that. How many series can you think of where the main character is the coolest character? There's not that many.
Exactly. Now comes some pretty tough choices here. If this was my own list, Scorpion and Sub-Zero does not make it into my top 10, but I don't even dare put them here. You know,
Yeah, you put Reptile number 1, so what do you know?
You put Sindel somewhere in the top 3, I know.
I kind of want to put Johnny Cage up here because in the same way... Gotcha.
You want to hear something really funny?
Okay.
I personally thought all 3 of us would put Johnny on number 1. So you saying you want him as number 8 is very interesting.
Well, I was going to support it by saying, in the same way that Liu Kang is known for being like the Boy Scout, like the boring guy, I feel like Johnny Cage is just known for the I make jokes guy. Like he's the comedic relief, he's the funny one. He doesn't get to do too many standout things until MKX when they pushed him really hard, and that was cool. But then in MK11, he's already in the back seat. In fact, in MKX, he's already in a back seat after his chapter. Like he's not doing anything cool, really.
Sure, because his story is that he's supporting his daughter.
Yeah, which is fine, but to most people when they think Mortal Kombat game, and maybe I'm wrong, they don't think like, oh yeah, he's cool because he supports his daughter. Like that's what adults think. But I'm thinking like the average gamer is like, oh yeah, fatherhood simulator, so cool.
The mindset of the people, the sheep are infecting
dog
again.
like Ermac is like King Jared is losing to the collective here. Jared, come back to us. This is about you, not them, please. What do you think? Do you like Johnny Cage?
Do you think his clips are funny?
No, I think Johnny Cage is a very interesting character, but I also do think that's because he's the comedic relief and also kind of the everyman. He's almost like 1 degree above Liu Kang in that regard. He's not like super unique in his own way. He's just the fun one. But I want to say one more thing. I could be wrong on this. I want an actual answer. Oh, sorry, sweetheart. I want an actual answer from you guys. Because I remember it being this way. Maybe it's just different. But when I was younger and the 3D era games were out, like Deadly Alliance, my buddies and I agreed that Johnny Cage was lame. Because once Liu Kang was out of the picture, like Johnny Cage was the immediate
game, so I can't answer that.
Oh, okay. How do you feel, Snake? Because to me, once Liu Kang was gone and he was like the generic guy, Johnny Cage became like the new generic guy of like, here's the cool badass ninjas and sorcerers and stuff, and here's like karate guy, and we were like lame.
Well, no, actually, I never thought he was lame. I mean, Johnny's the first character I ever played in MK4. Because like Sunglasses Man signed me the fuck up. Because I was like,
I love the idea, the setup for Johnny Cage. Earthrealm needs to find the best warriors to represent, like to fight in this tournament. Shaolin monks, military, actor. Oh shit, an actor that can really fight. And he's funny, and he's like really like egotistical centered.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's entertaining as fuck. Setup was great. And then in NRS, you have 3 games that actually matures this character up and becomes more and more like a good like caring father. And I also think in Mortal Kombat 1 he's fantastic in the story.
Yeah.
Like this character with Kenshi's setup and everything.
He doesn't have as much. And
these are the games.
He doesn't have as much like development, but his dynamic with Kenshi was like maybe the standout like storyline of the entire game. It was very well done. And
he's great in the 95 movie. I hate him in Scorpion's Revenge, but he's great in Cage Match. He might be good in the newest movies, who knows. I don't think you're gonna, unfortunately, I know Snake once said a long time ago, like his favorite character was Johnny Cage. So I don't think Jade.
Okay.
No, not at all.
I don't think Johnny should be
So-
anywhere below top 5. I think he should be in the top
So
5
then
at least.
maybe
I agree.
Maybe Melina then. Maybe Melina goes here.
She's in my top 5. I'll admit that.
I think so too, but I'm just wondering, like, okay, so she's in your top 5. Then what, does Reptile go here?
Not for me, but
I personally feel like it probably would be Reptile.
okay. I would put Sindel above him if we're gonna go like this. the thing is,
So I have to agree with Snake here, because Reptile, when you really get down to brass tacks, he is a palette swap ninja who barely gets to affect the story at all.
Melina
He
is
is
a
similar to
palette swap
Kano,
katana.
only slightly cooler.
But here's the thing,
Yeah.
Sonic. Melina's actual role in any given story changes a lot from being like one of Shao Kahn's assassins, the clone of Kitana, to being the Empress, being like the former Empress who's trying to reclaim her throne. Her story changes a lot. Reptile is just, before M1K, he's just the lizard man who is just trying to restore his people and consistently getting nowhere in it. That storyline went nowhere for almost 30 years.
I'd like to say something about
Consistently
Melina.
gets nowhere.
You're wearing some rose tinted glasses. She doesn't have the greatest lore like that either. Yeah, she is like got assassin roles and whatnot. She isn't winning much either.
No, it's not that. It's the fact that her actual story role in any given game, it changes. She has variety in what she's doing each game.
Yeah,
right?
well, Reptile in every freaking game also has variety in design. I can't say the same for Melina. That's a really cool factor that Reptile has. Every game.
You know, Snake,
He has a different
can we
design.
think of any games where Reptile's in the box art? If his designs are so good.
He's got a freaking soap fucking okay, this is
That's
not
true,
fair
the
because this
Gator
is fucking
skin.
Melina we're talking about here. And I said I put her on top 5. But I'm not putting her on top 5 because of fucking lore. She just keeps on
No,
fumbling.
I'm not saying that. I'm just
even when
saying that
she's
you
on the
can't
Emperor
attack
side
her
of things.
outfits, because she has some of the most iconic outfits, like Slay.
I'm not talking about outfits. I'm talking about like
You said design.
I said like design.
Does Reptile have a Funko Pop? No, Melina has two.
Here.
Oh.
But the thing is, like for me, the thing I love about Melina is, you know what? I love Melina, so I can't defend her. But I want to bring in Sindel into this like fucking equation.
Okay.
Who the fuck gives a shit about all that stuff that Snake likes about Sindel in terms of like the midway stuff? Everyone's only talking about Sindel from MK9's perspective, which unfortunately is just generic villain being mind controlled.
Isn't Sindel hot?
Oh my gosh! You're
Sindel is
pulling
hot.
this
The reason I like
fucking
Sindel
card.
is because she's very unique. I think
Unbelievable.
Sindel like should be praised for how unique she is, and she has a big role like in the history and lore. I think maybe Shang Tsung goes number 8 then. Maybe Shang Tsung, because he's just the villain. Maybe Shang Tsung is number 8.
I don't
You know
know.
what sucks? I put Shang Tsung very high on my list.
You're stepping on your own feet over and over again here,
you know-
Sonic. I try to save your boy, and then you
I know.
throw your other
I know,
boys up
I
there.
know.
Actually, I think Kuai Liang goes here.
No. That's not Sonic. Don't you make that puckered lip face like seeing your chance to move Reptile up a little bit? Oh man,
thing
come
is-
on.
The thing is, there is a sense of that feeling I have with Liu Kang with Kuai Liang. He's important in the story. He does so much. I mean, yeah, he betrays the Lin Kuei when the Grandmaster like Cyber Initiatives happens, and then after that, he's just kind of a generic good guy.
Actually, Sonic, I'm convinced Reptile goes here. Kuai Liang's
No.
above him.
You're talking about Sindel. Do you have any idea how much damage fucking she's done in MK9 through the series? And Aftermath?
Damage done to the series. What are you talking about?
Damage
He
done to
means
the
bad
fucking
moments,
series.
I guess.
Hello?
People didn't stop playing the games because Sindel killed
Oh,
everyone.
people never stop fucking hating the games because of that shit. What fucking impact that big to the fucking series that almost shaked up the final? Every fucking time I hear Aftermath story mode, Sindel fucking sucks. I hate the fucking retcon they do to Sindel. Reptile doesn't have that much slander. Okay, I'm just saying.
Because he
I'm just
does
saying, doesn't have
nothing.
that on his plate.
You don't have
You
enough
know what I
character to
remember the most
retcon,
about-
Sonic.
So a pile of shit is better than nothing, eh? Is that what you're saying here? Hmm?
I'm saying that at least Sindel made the cut. You know who wasn't in MK11?
You know who wasn't in MKX? What's your point?
Actually, she was
dead,
an
but
NPC.
yeah.
She was in the game.
Whoa,
True.
so is Reptile in the crypt? What fucking point are we going on here?
No,
okay.
you can't fight him. You're not in the actual fighting. I'm sorry, Sonic. You've been out for.
Sindel's fucking. You know what? I'm gonna pull out some cards here. Essentially, you want to know something else that Reptile provides into this fucking series? No one else provides. In fact, in all gaming history, you go on Google right now and you look up first fighting game secret character. That is something that he actually has in terms of legacy. Like, if you look it up, that's the first guy in the arcade that they're discussing and all that kind of stuff. Every fucking secret character down the road, in terms of MK, Jade, Noob Saibot, Smoke, their existence, sort of thanks to Reptile. Angel from Tekken 2 maybe was influenced by Reptile. Akuma, Street Fighter 2, maybe influenced by Reptile. Like, that shit is very influential. All your favorite secret characters, maybe even unlockables, may have been influenced because of Reptile. That is pretty freaking cool. I'm just saying. It's pretty,
that's cool. And also, Snake, he's not going to let us move on unless we put somebody else here.
I would like to say though, so everyone who like makes memes, whether it's drawing or just editing, like pulling Photoshop, you know the guy, you know the bit in well, there's two you can do. One is the guy quickly writing on a board, or Charlie Day is it in front of the board. Put Sonic there.
Yes.
Please do that.
I am now currently
in fact
grasping
okay, tell you what,
on all these things.
Tell you what, Sonic, if you agree to make at least one of those for this video, we'll put Kuai Liang at number 8 and Reptile above him.
Wait, one of the
memes.
Like, oh.
If you do one of those memes for this video and put it on screen right now, then we'll put Kuai Liang at number 8.
I'll render a 3D image of that later on. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Kuai Liang's number 8. Bribery wins every time.
We should talk a little bit more about Kuai Liang. How about that? I feel like.
Yeah.
You okay? Wait, before we get into that, because I know Dog ain't budging. Sorry, Snake, go ahead.
Yeah, I do like Kuai Liang. Like, I'm not disputing. No, it's just really just the fact his personality is a little one note. I like his story. I like the legacy aspect where he's taking on the mantle of Sub-Zero for his brother. Especially like in the early version where he wasn't even trying to avenge his brother. He's like, he died on his mission and that's whatever. I'm just here to preserve the honor of our family and the clan and whatnot. It was really cool. And the way he buried the hatchet with Scorpion didn't go, I'm going to get revenge on you. But even the revenge story is perfectly serviceable. I like how he goes against his clan, reforms it, and makes it something better. The second timeline, they did it to an extent, but we didn't really get to explore that all that much because...
He just becomes Grandmaster and is like, we're good.
And then in the next game, they're all just like killed by Frost off screen, so it's unfortunate.
Oh, that's true. I want to bring up something that Dog brought up as a point, because he really likes Sindel in terms of the uniqueness of her design and her gameplay. Tell me another character like Reptile.
Tell you another character like Reptile in what regard?
Design or like green acid shits and whatnot. Because like
the acid is cool, but he's still just a green ninja. But I'm saying he still is a green palette swap of like the ninjas at the end of the day. But he has the scales to make him more unique.
Newest version of Reptile.
I like that one, but most people hate that. They would just want green ninja guy. That's what most people
don't fucking care about the other people. I'm saying like my point is in terms of like this unique fighting character. Like I don't see anyone. Okay, sure, classic ninja designs, but then after that, every freaking design was very unique and different for Reptile.
Okay. Yeah, that is definitely a fair point.
I've already moved him up for you.
But I do.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily that just because the point about Sindel is there doesn't mean that it means that she is more unique than Reptile visually. It just means that both have that as a major strength.
I'm just saying that as an advantage too, because that's one of Dog's point is bringing up Sindel for unique.
I feel like design-wise,
Sindel is more unique than Reptile. Yes. Sorry, she just is in terms of like appearance and gameplay. She just is.
I mean, a lot. I mean, to be fair,
I can't think of even one thing to compare to other characters. Like, whereas with Reptile, I can think of a few.
Yeah, a lot of.
She looks like Ivy.
A lot of Reptile's core
with really long hair,
moves are shared with Sub-Zero. Both have the slide. They both have like a ball-based projectile. He does have a lot of stuff that is similar to Sub-Zero in various ways. Whereas Sindel's like how many characters
fleshed out into more gooey shenanigans later on. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, but
the invisibility is cool.
Yeah, like that. But then the problem is a lot of other characters like Smoke. That's more of a Smoke thing now at this point than Reptile.
Yeah.
Sector's been able to do that.
Rip.
But like, how many characters how many characters in MK, not counting guests, can do like fly around like Sindel, and how many have like scream stuff?
Fly around was not a good one there, Snake. The not counting glass, I know, but there's a lot of flyers. Screaming and the hair ability, yes, that's really unique. I'll give you that. Yeah, look, so I'll give up on Sindel because I know I can't convince like both of you for that. So, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving some points to Reptile is what I'm doing.
Like again,
so is Shang Tsung up higher than Reptile, or
we're not saying Reptile's bad by any means. Yeah. At all. We're not saying that Reptile's bad or that he's not unique
I know,
at
he
all.
made it to the top 10. Let's discuss Shang Tsung, because as much as I want to put him high, I think I'm going to have to break out the emergency box. As much as I love a lot of depictions of Shang Tsung, I also hate a lot of depictions of Shang Tsung. And that's going to drag some points down for him.
That's fair. Because there are lots of...
That's actually why my buddy said that Quan Chi's better. He said that Shang Tsung, for the longest time, was just Fu Manchu, classic kung fu villain. And yeah, it's cool that he can turn into the enemy, but that means his main gimmick is being not Shang Tsung. When you think about it.
Yeah, I suppose it really just
it's
comes
like
down
12
to...
in Street Fighter Third Strike.
I think it comes down to how much do you value Karitagawa's performance specifically, like in the movie and Aftermath.
And Mortal Kombat 1. Like that is... I forgot his name,
the one
the
that's
performance
based
there
on him,
really good.
Yeah, very very good, like successor to that role. Like it's great. It's just, yeah, I can definitely see why like that the personality. Like if we're going off pure personality, it's like him and Johnny are like duking it out for number one. I would say.
It's
but
very high tier for me too. Yeah,
but because we're covering everything the characters have, I can definitely say that Shang Tsung. Yeah, there's.
I did not want to do that, but.
Would he make top 5? Yeah. I don't know.
I would put Shang Tsung high just because of carry, but you know, to protect my boy Reptile, I'm breaking out the emergency box. That voice acting, MK versus DC.
I mean, I
such a loser in MK9.
I mean, I would personally still put Shang Tsung above Reptile, but I feel like Shang Tsung would probably be at number 6 here, for me personally.
Okay, agreed.
6. Sorry, I haven't seen what the list has been going on. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking on Discord, so I wasn't looking at the whiteboard. I see Reptiles on 7. I see Kuai-Liang's on 8. Yep. I'm happy you conceded, Kuai-Liang.
My penmanship is just degrading for some reason.
And you said you were better than me. What the fuck is this chicken scratch?
It's because like, these are letters I'm bad at. Like I'm bad at the letter A.
This isn't Techno Syndrome Chicken Scratch remix, dog. What are you doing? That's a deep cut.
Fine,
no one else
you
will get.
write it from now on. I'll trash this.
No, leave it. It's a monument to your sins, dog.
Control Z. Shang Tsung. I miss Liu Kang. I miss that.
All right, so now what's left is Johnny Cage, Sindel, Hanzo, Melina, and Kenshi.
Okay, here's a question for you guys. How much do you guys like Kenshi?
I was gonna say, like, he's very cool.
I like him a
Kenshi should have been up higher, shouldn't he?
Kenshi is really cool.
Not only is Kenshi really cool, there's so many different depictions of him. You got the Midway. You've got Father MKX Shang Tsung. You've got the new Yakuza Shang Tsung.
Kenshi. Shang Tsung is not a father.
It's 2 a.m. My bad.
Yes,
and then you have Snowblind. You have 4 awesome depictions of Kenshi. Like literally, like pick your awesome poison in a way. Look. I'm gonna just put Sindel on any chance I've got at this point. I'm not even saying I don't even hate her. I'm just saying like not better than the other 4 at this point.
Personally, I would personally put Kenshi at number 5. But
what do you think, dog? Sindel or Kenshi? You've got, like I said, 4 depictions of him. Got MKX. You've got like Midway. Got him.
I'm putting Kenshi only because I feel like he's always just a supporting good guy. He's never the one driving the action. He's not even like a huge staple in the history. Like Sindel doesn't drive the story most of the time either, but Sindel is still like a huge history totem of like the story of Mortal Kombat. Like she was the Empress. She was
influenced by the Sheepo again.
Weapon of no. I'm not. I said the opposite. I'm saying the actual lore of Mortal Kombat. She is like the Empress of Outworld, who actually put the barrier on Earth and kept it safe from Shao Kahn for a bit. And then she was Shao Kahn's weapon. That's an interesting twist. The reveal that she was actually a good guy despite being designed to look villainesque was a cool twist. And then in future games she's still like she still has an authority position, whereas I feel like Kenshi is cooler. Like I would rather Kenshi be in the next game maybe than Sindel, because I just think he's more fun to play. But I feel like everything outside of that, Sindel wins. Because even design-wise, I don't think Kenshi is super unique, because Blind Swordsman has been done before. I can't think of too many characters that are similar to Sindel, even in other works of fiction. Like I can't think of it.
That's so interesting. Okay. Before we put down Kenshi there, crap, you already did.
Okay. I can move him.
Think...
It's not written in stone. It's
sure.
quite literally written in digital ink.
Because again, I'm just trying my best to put Sindel down anytime I've got. But do you think Kenshi's better than Melina? How high is Melina going now?
Wait, no, Melina's better than Kenshi. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not arguing that. I did put Kenshi above Melina, but okay.
Your bias.
All right, we've got 4 more characters. Would you look at that? Look, I definitely now know that Johnny is not number 1 between us, which is very well. Actually, we could debate about that, but I find that very interesting. That Dog actually put Johnny so low on the tier, so we'll see what happens with that. Where is Hanzo in this conversation now?
I think Hanzo is probably still better than Sindel, but that might be where Snake disagrees with me.
In terms of story, I'd personally say that Sindel is above Scorpion just a bit. It's not a huge gap between the two, because I feel like there's a lot of similarities between the two in like the way their storylines go, their like redemption and whatnot. Which one would I say is better outside of that? That's tricky.
Let me ask another question. Which one's better, Sindel or Melina, between you guys?
Melina. Well, that's tricky, because I think Melina is just like, I'm going off like the popularity thing, because that was what I'm thinking about. Like she's had an impact on the series as far as like she is like a cornerstone character, and this time I do mean in terms of popularity. Like when Melina's left out of a game, it's like chaos. Whereas if Sindel misses out in a game, it's like, she can sit one out.
Yeah, seems about right.
Plus, again, you do the whole, yeah.
you have to consider the like uniqueness. Like Melina is like, in terms of uniqueness, she's on the lower end of these 4, because she is like she's literally a clone of Kitana, and that being a clone of someone else and that is a unique idea. That's pretty unique, but it doesn't change the fact that at her core, her design is going to be kind of largely based on what Kitana is in any given game.
You know what's the funny thing is, I kind of disagree, just because, okay, don't picture Kitana and don't picture Baraka. I think Melina as a character, standalone, like compared to like even other fighting game characters, I think this is such a unique design. In fact, I look at Melina and I just think, oh, this is like the perfect Mortal Kombat character. Like, look at this sexy femme fatale like lady, and then, oh my fucking gosh, she's a horrifying monster. That's such a fantastic idea and a setup for a character that just represents so much of like Mortal Kombat right there, you know? Like I think that aspect about her makes her very iconic and like very well done, in my opinion.
I think so too.
And that aspect
even though
alone,
she is technically
you want to talk about uniqueness out of these 4 out of the 10, like she's very unique in that aspect, in my opinion. But if you have Kitana and Baraka lore-wise, you'd be like, oh yeah, have Tarkon, have Kitana. But don't think about that. Just think about, look at this design. Like,
yeah, and for me, it's also like I said earlier, she is like one of the best examples of how do you describe the vibe of like Mortal Kombat, or like what you're getting into if you can only pick one female character. And I feel like Melina is one of the best, because she's violent, creepy, but also sexualized.
It is worth considering,
which is like the best way to describe it.
Like, you guys are making very good points, but it is worth considering that Melina unmasked is not the default. Most of the time, she has her mask on, which makes her look a lot like Kitana. So that uniqueness you talked about with the design, it is hampered a bit by that fact. The fact that she defaults to, she's like Kitana, but pink, or but purple. And then the mask comes off.
Modern depiction of her will eventually take her mask off. Like, that's like a setup,
but it's like, say, Johnny in the first couple of games. He didn't have his sunglasses on during the fight. He only put them on after the fight was over. So while it's an iconic part of the design, that's not what you see in, like, 90 to 95% of the time. Like, you can customize...
You're talking about, like, renders and stuff.
I mean, during a fight. During gameplay, when you actually watching a fight, Melina's masked up most of the time.
Yeah.
So
she will take off the mask for moves and stuff. So it's not like it's
yeah.
hidden secret and stuff.
No, I'm not saying it's secret. It's just that the unique part is like used as a surprise. So her core design, the mask has to be taken into account as a core part of the design, as a hidden part of it. So, like, I'm not saying you guys are wrong or anything. It's just that I think is worth considering for her uniqueness.
Sure.
That's not always on
and I
display.
see that as a positive because I see the surprise factor of it to be something that's actually like, if she's 24/7 monster girl with sexy, that's it. But she's sexy, but then, oh no, I don't want to get close.
So what you're saying is, MK1, 2, 3, and 1 Reptile is better than all the others because he's not Reptile Man all the time. I see what you're putting down, Mr. Sonic.
I mean, hidden messages may or may not. I mean, Reptile again isn't back in the day 24/7 Lizard Man. He's got a surprise factor too.
I was going to add to what Sonic said also. Yeah, I was going to add to what Sonic said also because it's funny how in the 3D era, like with Deception and Armageddon, they tried to make her mouth immediately visible, almost like what Snake was saying. Like, it's better to just have the monster there right away because that's one of her unique gimmicks is like the monster face. But as a gamer during that time period, I thought that was stupid because several characters remark on like, don't lift the veil. And I'm like, what do you mean lift the veil? I can see through it. Like, I can see her face right there. Her disguise doesn't work. So you run the risk of both, unfortunately. If she just walked around with the mouth out 24/7, it would ruin the reveal.
Baraka.
So I think I have to agree with I have to agree with Sonic on that one.
That's just savage creature Baraka, essentially. That's what makes.
So are we putting Sindel at number 4 or is Shang Tsung at number?
Well, Shang Tsung's number 6, but I think it's worth.
Oh, you're right. Whoops.
I think it's worth looking over.
We're debating between Melina, Sindel, and Hanzo right now.
Yeah, because we've talked about Melina Sindel quite a lot, and I'm honestly fine with those going either order because those two are, they both deserve to be here. But I'm not sure if Hanzo would be above them.
Yes, so I'm just asking. I think we've agreed that Melina is above Sindel.
I can accept that.
Yeah, my honest defense for Scorpion is not a super good one because his look isn't that creative or anything, and fire is not super unique, but it is hellfire, and I think his lore of literally crawling out of hell is interesting, and I think it's also cool how in the Scorpion's Revenge movie it's implied that he found Quan Chi, which is also interesting to me. I find that kind of to be a cool aspect of it. Whereas I think my camera's not centered. I think in the original games it was more implied that Quan Chi set up the whole revenge in the first place because he saw the Scorpion would be a perfect tool to begin with. Like when he framed Sub-Zero, the entire intent was to use Scorpion. But if not, I think it's cool in Scorpion's. Yeah.
You could kind of infer that though. From my view of it is that Quan Chi was only incidentally involved in the origin of all that and didn't properly get involved until 4, but yours is a valid reading too.
I will say this.
That's fine. I prefer it that way. I think it's cooler if he didn't control that because it means that Hanzo's just so damn cool that he crawled out of hell. That's very interesting to me. So Hanzo's got a cool story. He's a fan favorite too, which I think normally I wouldn't use that card, but when you're never the main character but still always in the box, I think that speaks for something.
Out of all the characters we currently still have on the list, Hanzo probably has the best lore. For me, I feel like.
It's definitely up there.
So what I'm saying is, I think Sindel's number 5.
4, you mean?
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna make Snake write it.
My bad. Sorry, not Kenshi.
I'm gonna make Snake write it because he hates my penmanship. So.
You can write.
No, you're there saying no, Snake. Write the name of your wife at number 4. Your number. I fooled you both. It was all a manipulation to get my wife at my number.
Oh, you know what? I kind of gotta respect you there, honestly. You had Gunnar Dog on your side the whole time to get him all the way to fucking 4. So congrats.
Can we agree that whenever Ed Boon, because you brought up Gunnar, I've always wanted to do this, but I'm worried that Ed Boon would get pissed off if he saw it. Whenever Ed Boon posts like a thirst pic or makes any comment or reply to a thirst pic, he is Ed Goon.
You've made that joke, but yeah, okay. I do find that funny.
That is his persona, Ed Goon.
Okay, so
now we're getting
top
to the
3.
top 3.
Here we go. So that's Hanzo,
Okay, here's the thing, though.
Hanzo, Jonathan Carlton, and Milanina.
I think me and Snake would agree Johnny's better than the other two.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, while I feel like his lore isn't quite as deep as Hanzo, or like the kind of like the arc Melina arguably goes on, is also deeper. I do feel like Johnny has, with his personality, that does help to elevate it quite a lot, because Scorpion is all the time is just kind of the angry guy or the stoic guy. Melina is kind of, they have like kind of somewhat flat personality, which a lot of MK characters unfortunately do. It's just how the series is. But Johnny Cage is just out here, and he just, on the surface, he has a lot more layers, and he's more fun to watch.
Exactly.
Like a lot of the fun we had watching Cage Match, for example, was Johnny just somehow being way better than the previous movie version of him that they'd done. And I feel like that counts for a lot. So when you can mix the the good character development and being prominent in the series, and also having just a really fun personality and a solid moveset as well, I feel like that is kind of the complete package that I'm not sure any other MK character really is.
Before we argue about that, then in that case, I think right now we can still argue Hanzo Scorpion or Melina.
Well, what's Dog's thoughts on Johnny? Do you think he should be up there as number one?
Do I think Johnny should be number one?
What do you think about these three characters?
If we were going off sheer entertainment factor, then yeah, I think Johnny Cage would be up there. It would be Johnny and Scorpion very close. Maybe Johnny wins out because he's just more entertaining, but I think that Scorpion's got a really good lore, and Johnny's really lacking in that department. Johnny's just relatable, but that doesn't make him like necessarily better. I'm okay with Melina being number 3 because I never saw Melina as a top 2 character, even though I like that character, and she's always the one I want to play first when a new Mortal Kombat game comes out, because she has that fast-paced, aggressive playstyle. Except in 11, for some dumb reason, when they made her a zoner, and that was really weird. I don't know why they did that. That game can just go into the trash bin. I want to make a full video explaining why I hate Mortal Kombat 11, and I'm ready for the attacks that come my way. But
that'll be fun. But Melina wasn't very good in that game. I've heard that. Yeah.
Dog, I give you permission in that video to say, if you have hate me for disliking MK11, go watch the Force Snake, because he hates it more than I do. In your anger towards him, I give you permission to do that.
Damn.
Yeah, cool.
You can link my sucks videos too if you want to. The interesting thing that I will say, I think Melina, the fact that she's iconic enough, just design and like that appeal of her, is enough for me personally to like her over Scorpion. For me. So I think that's I don't know how much of an impact that's going to make, but like, yeah, that's what all I'm gonna say. But finally, for once, the Goonernisms takes over. I'm saying like Melina is better than like Scorpion. Ooh. But so let's currently see. I think Dog, you said you liked Hanzo more than Melina.
I think if I was to make a top 3, it would go. I think I would go Johnny, Melina, Hanzo.
Wait, you think Melina is better than Hanzo too?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow, I wasn't expecting.
I had no idea you guys love
this.
Melina this much.
Melina's in top 5 for me. Like, yeah,
and I will say, maybe you disagree, but I think in MK1 they made Melina way more interesting. Not in terms of like, yeah. I mean, she's missing a lot of her like femme fatale element that she had in the past games, but I think they could fix that easily by, if the new era continues, they could have it to where when she switches to her Tarkat form, it doesn't just make her aggressive, it makes her that classic Melina personality, and she becomes like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That'd be really interesting. I feel like even have her live 2 different lives, like Moon Knight. That'd be super sick. Like she just like forgets what she did as her other form. That'd be so cool. I feel like, but
yeah, I have to agree, because like she's there in every game, most games, and like she does like a pretty decent job as a villain. But I mean, Mortal Kombat 1 is the first time she's treated as a good guy, like straight on, just let's try to, like, Liu Kang was like, I'm gonna give you a chance, Melina, to be like a good guy and stuff like that. And overall, I do think it's really thanks to the fact that she gets a gigantic boost in terms of redemption and character development in Chapter 12. Like, she's a good Kitana character in Mortal Kombat 1, I guess. That's what why are you kissing 2 Melinas together?
Ooh.
But yeah, I think she's
Not
good in the lore in Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah, I give you that too. I agree. Like, the thing I like about Mileena isn't about her lore in the old games. It's about her design and like her appeal and stuff. Enough to the point where I think she's better than Scorpion. Crazy as this sounds. Okay, what? And Dog, you said, did you say Scorpion is your number 1?
Scorpion and Johnny Cage be fighting for number 1, in my opinion, but only because like you said earlier, my appeal is coming from like the mainstream side of it, of like these characters are why the series is like, it's what they're known for. Maybe not so much Johnny Cage. Like, Scorpion is the character. Yeah,
so,
of course. Yeah.
So for you, it's Johnny and Scorpion, then Mileena.
Yes.
Sonic, yeah, I mean, if it had been me, period, it would have been Scorpion, Sub-Zero, then either Mileena or Johnny Cage. Yeah.
If it would have been me, period, it would have been Reptile.
Yeah, so for Sonic, so for Sonic, it's what? Johnny.
Action of Ashura.
So for Sonic, for you, it's Johnny, then
Mileena and Hanzo.
And for me, it's
I think
Johnny.
I'm the same with you, Snake.
Yeah, for me, it's Johnny, Mileena, Hanzo. So we're all in agreement. Like, Johnny basically is number 1.
Because Dog is saying he's competing for Hanzo and Johnny.
2 of us put him at number 1. 1 puts him as like competing for it. So I think, therefore, Johnny's
that weirdly
number 1.
doesn't sound like number 1 to me. That sounds by 1.5. You're not committed with Scorpion being number 1.
Yeah, but in terms of like averages, I feel like it between those that puts Johnny at number 1, and then I think because at the minute Sonic and I are both like Mileena Scorpion.
Stands.
I feel like that's kind of the order it's moving towards at the minute. It's Johnny, Mileena, Scorpion.
What do you think about that?
I'm fine with that. I'm just shocked that y'all like Mileena so much, but I'm okay with that. Yeah.
To be honest, even I'm shocked because like I don't think I gush that much about Mileena love, but like I guess I don't want to be known as the Mileena stan and stuff like that. But I'm willing to put her that high up on my own list. She's number 5, but like I think yeah, that alone I think is enough appeal for me. Oh my gosh, and there we have it, the top 10. Well, I'm gonna wait for Hair to be done writing here.
Yeah, I don't see the top 3 written, so
you can hold control and then like let me see.
There we go. They're finally working. There we go. Now they're there.
So laggy.
My computer was behind. It's not your fault. My computer was like in the past.
So, in summation,
there is
the official Kombat Kings top 10 Mortal Kombat characters is number 10, Fujin. Number 9, Liu Kang. Number 8, Kuai Liang. Number
Sub-Zero.
7, Number 7, Reptile. Number 6, Shang Tsung. Number 5, Kenshi. Number 4, Sindel. Number 3, Hanzo, Scorpion. Number 2, Mileena. And number 1, Mr. Jonathan Carlton himself, Johnny Cage.
We've done it! Let's go!
Crazy. Crazy.
Are you guys going to be excited for the amount of insane hate we're going to get in the comment section? Every video, when you go in the Max Million videos too, they're like, they didn't include this game in the top 10. Crazy. What the they didn't even talk about Kung Lao. What is wrong with the... I'm sorry, Jade, Sonya, what the fuck is wrong with these people's taste?
I'd like everybody watching to consider your personal top 10 list, your personal views are valid. They're no less valid than ours, but they are no more valid than ours. Looking at this going, oh, these people didn't include this, therefore they have bad taste. You know, I might say stuff like that as a joke, but in reality, no, that's not how opinions work. They're all as valid. What matters is whether or not you can back that up. So don't just go, you guys didn't put this character in there, therefore you smell. It's say, I personally think this character is this good for this reason. Let us know why. Not who, why. Why is this character there? Do you think Mileena's number 1? Why? Why do you think Mileena should go above Johnny Cage? Do you think Sonya should be in top 10? Let us know why. Don't just say they should be and that's it, because that offers nothing to the conversation. Because genuinely, if you just say, I think Sonya's like one of the best characters, I don't give a shit. It means nothing to me. If you say, I think Sonya's one of the best for this reason, good on you, man.
So, let me translate that. Leave your own top 10 favorite Mortal Kombat characters in the comment section. And also, just for fun, on the screen right now, you will see all three of our own top 10 lists. Just so you guys know where we stand on this, because this list right here is the Kombat Kings top 10 favorite Mortal Kombat list. But just for fun, here's also our own list, which I'll put on screen.
Oh, true. True.
Wow, I think that was very fun. I feel like we got very heated there. I tried my best with Reptile. I think 7. I'm happy with 7.
Yeah. I like no one can debate that you are not Reptile's strongest warrior at this point. Like you went hard on this. You were like
bringing up the secret characters.
Like, you were like, I'm gonna drag everyone else down. If they won't elevate him, I'll drag everyone else down below him. He must rise.
I'm going harsh on Sindel after he passed up like.
Oh yeah,
Sindel number 6. Sindel number 5.
my guys over here, the Sindel supporters. They're going to destroy you in the comment section. They're going to go, this man wants his sexy lizard boy over our queen.
I feel like people are going to
be respectful
mad.
though, guys. Be respectful when you when you tell Sonic what a fucking idiot he is.
Hey, Sindel's number 4, okay? Hello? I guarantee you I guarantee you in the comments are going to be like, number 4? Anyways, we're done.
I tried, guys. Please don't crucify me. I tried to get our queen.
You got number 4. That's so you're very high. You know, I'm thinking we're gonna be crucified for putting Quiet Ing for number 8. Honestly.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. In honor of all the Mileena fans alongside me, I am happy that this happened. I can't take all the credit. I definitely can't. I would have put her at like 5 or 6 despite being a huge fan. Yeah.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think Raiden's absence is going to be controversial?
Oh yeah.
No, I
think it will be. And I think Jade not being even considered is going to be controversial too. Yeah.
We did put her on the list. We did cross her out.
Get ready for people calling us.
People do not like Raiden that much. I'm sorry.
Get ready to hear people call us mean names in the comments because we did not have very much diversity on this tier list. I feel like we got no Jackie, got no Jade, got no Tanya, got no.
Oh my gosh!
They're gonna say that we're bigots towards a certain group.
Literally, one of these characters is a white man. One. All the rest are Asian or lizard people. So and as far as like the modern society goes, that is in like all Asian, all black. That is in fact. What was the word? Diversity. Yeah, that is diversity. No, it's literally not. But modern society says that is the case. So we have a very diverse roster here.
Goodness gracious, you're right. Like. All Asian and a lizard, and then like Mileena in some depictions is like just monster girl, I guess. But yeah, like pretty much.
This would be the equivalent of if Street Fighter like became famous for only its white characters. That'd be funny. That's what happened here because it's an American-made game, but it's like it's all Asian characters that we like.
You know, we're very diverse. Not 8 Asians, 1 lizard boy.
Unfortunately, Reptile is white in the new game, so I guess.
Hey, he might be. I don't know. I don't know. And to be fair though, like Sindel was Asian in the newer games, and then like before that she wasn't. So.
Well, I'll say this is like if you're looking at this from like a diversity or like race standpoint, you're a fucking idiot. This is about the characters.
We're literally talking about our favorite characters.
Like we didn't even bring up the race at all. It didn't factor in because it doesn't matter. What matters is the characters, their personalities, their abilities, what they offer to the series. That's what matters. If you're looking at this from a race standpoint or a gender standpoint, fuck yourself. You don't deserve to be here. I'm going to find you. I'm going to do something heinous that we can't say without getting demonetized. So Sonic, better end this episode before we get demonetized.
Listen. I was going to say, at least still having 8 Asian characters and a lizard boy. I think that's really impressive in terms of diversity. Okay, I'm just saying. I think we. I think the fact that speaks more to how good the characters are, and they're diverse. Come on, that's plus points. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. That was lovely. I'm excited to do the top 10 worst MK characters some other day. Play Fortnite, dog.
Bye. Worst characters. Oh,
that'd be fun. Even though it won't be too hard though. But I do think that Actually, maybe it will be hard. But I'm gonna be Devorah's strongest like defender. I'm just saying here because I do not think she deserves that much hate. I'm just saying.
I feel like we'd have to like set some kind of rule that each era needs to have at least 3 characters on there or something, because otherwise it's like NetherRealm, a couple of 3D eras, maybe like one from the arcade era, NetherRealm.
Who the heck would be from the arcade? I guess like Striker, but even then I don't think he's gonna make the top 10. Anyways, end the episode. Goodbye, guys. Play Fortnite, dogs.